Hey, hey, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing? We got Bruiser here. Hello, it's a nice name to see live. How we doing? We have somebody mentioning hello, Celeste. Sardis, thank you. Celeste will be here soon. At least I hope. Uh, Trying to figure out what's going on there. Antoine, what's going on, my friend? Dead Sea Life, welcome back. Hello. And Mr. Sibner. Wave, you're here this week. What's going on? John Peters, who else is triple excited for tonight? Evening all. Anyone have scratch and sniff stickers on their 2023 bingo release card? That's going to be a fun one to discuss tonight for sure. Speaking of Umbrella, hello from Australia. Can't wait to talk about that with everybody in a little bit. What's going on, Brent? Stan Geezy, my friend. Sam, you're here live. Hello. Anthony, no cats here, I'm afraid. What's going on, Dave? Hello. Celeste de la Cabra is our wonderful guest tonight. If you have not subscribed to their channel, please click on that link in the description below, and please follow Celeste on Instagram. Celeste is amazing, does some really great things with video, really great film analysis. And speaking of Celeste de la Cabra, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty okay. I apologize for my trademark tardiness.
Could be worse. Could be worse. We got Stefano here and Paul. Hello to both of you. So welcome. How's everything been lately?
Pretty okay. I've been hanging out, doing my thing, living life, living the dream,
Yeah, I do know exactly what you're talking about. What's going on, Barry? Yeah, it's not been great. I know that you've got some stuff that's been going on, and I've been sick for like 3.5 weeks, and I don't know how. I'm pretty getting better now, but the funny thing is, my antidote lately, every time we go live on Thursdays, my body's like, "No, you're fine." But then the moment I click off, my body just shuts down. So tonight will go great. We're gonna be amazing. I didn't ask about this beforehand. Do you have any recent pickups or any recent watches you want to highlight to everybody?
Recent pickups. I did buy that new Canadian International Pictures release.
Ooh.
So I'll be excited to get that in the mail. By the way, how is my mic sounding?
Sounds good.
All right, nice. Thank you to DC Ibener. I appreciate
I believe it's Sibner, he said.
D Sibner. Oh, okay. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
It does look wonderful.
Thank you. And then I watched The Kid Candidate the other
night. I was going to ask you tonight how that went, because I know I've championed that for a long time. Did you enjoy it? Because I know that you're a politics major, so...
Yeah. It was very interesting to me because, I'm really into that stuff, and I have actually worked in politics before, at least on an internship level. I've worked at the state Senate, and I've worked for the Virginia Democratic Party fundraising. So wow. I have experience in that, sort of realm. But wow, everyone's being so nice to me today. Thank you.
I did want to make sure you saw this. Sardis says, check out the Cuban film from '93, Strawberry and Chocolate.
I've never heard of that one. I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, thank you. Can you tell me anything else about it? I guess I could pull it up while I'm...
Amazingly, I don't know that I've seen a Cuban film. That's not something that you hear very often.
Have you seen Soy Cuba or I Am Cuba?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's the one with like the most legendary fucking like tracking shot ever. Yeah, I've been meaning... It's hard to find, so I've been meaning to see it, but
Nice. Yes, Jason, yes. This cold flu, whatever's going around, sticks forever. My whole family has been fighting it for weeks.
God, it's the worst. My other partner, B, just got COVID, and somehow we avoided it. So
yeesh.
I think I'm the only person I know that's never gotten it, actually.
Wow.
I managed to avoid it by the skin of my teeth this time.
Nice. Congratulations.
But I guess I'm just built different. I don't know.
Different. I did have a couple pickups before you go on. I wanted to highlight. These are all in for review from Imprint. I'll be talking about these soon. Fear is the Key came in. This is 1972, and I've never seen it. Barry Newman's always fun though, so curious for that one. I love a couple people in this, and then of course, kind of hard to go wrong with Sam Peckinpah. They sent me the Killer Elite, and this release is one of their crazy releases. We got a nice hard box, and then it's got two wonderful cases in here to cover. One of these is the theatrical cut, one the alternate theatrical cut, which I had never heard of it called the alternate theatrical cut, so I'm curious to see what that actually is. And then finally, their new and first 4K, The War of the Worlds, and this came in a crazy lenticular hardbox with their first steelbook as well. And yeah, we'll be talking about this one soon. Nice booklet in there as well. Anyway, sorry to interrupt there for a second. I didn't want to forget those. How's everything else? Any other recent watches? Oh, I forgot. Kid Candidate. The politics side of it. Did it work for you?
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting. I liked that guy Jeff who passed away. He was funny. Yeah. He was so rude, but he was really funny. I don't know. It was interesting. I mean, it was so clearly biased in his favor that it was kind of hard for me to gauge. Like, I thought his policies were all very vague in terms of what he was actually looking for, but he seems like a genuine person, and he's like a pretty talented musician. I started following him on Instagram, and he seems to be really into that side of things now. So nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, some of the editing choices I thought were a little bit strange, but there were definitely some interviews in there that I found to be very insightful. And, I have still been thinking about it, and I think the best thing that a documentary can do is teach me something new. And like, usually I think about these things in terms of like countries that I don't know anything about, but you can make a fascinating story out of like a very small town in the United States. So I've never even heard of Amarillo before, and now I feel like I have been there or I know something about it, right? So
never heard of Amarillo. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've never been to Texas, I don't think so.
Wow. Texas is it's kind of a world on its own, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. I see Erica is here. Hi, Erica. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about to highlight her as soon as you were done. Erica has one, I think it's 9 days left, but I'll say 1 week left on the book. So make sure if you want in on that, go and donate.
For Erica, I finished the Made in Hong Kong set, and so I watched The Demon's Baby, and that shit rips. This shit is nuts. It is really good.
What's going on, Brian and Ash? Stan watched She Said yesterday. I've heard that is great.
I need to check that out.
Sibner wants to know, has either of you partaken of Umbrella's Drive-In Delirium series? Is it any good? Have you watched any of that crazy ongoing documentary they put out?
I don't think I've ever heard of it. So
Drive-In Delirium is wild. They put out I think it's 6 parts for this long documentary that they did, and it's good. I haven't watched the entire thing yet, but it's very interesting, very well done. It's mostly focusing on Australian cinema, so you hear a lot of the big names that we've heard for years, and it's interesting for sure. And they've this is one of those things where they've recycled the interviews to be on a whole bunch of physical media releases throughout the last 5 years coming out of Australia. So they a lot of people have seen snippets, at least, because it's on a lot of those things.
Interesting.
Quiet Rob, maybe being part of the awesome community is something to do with it. I haven't had COVID either. Nice. We got a few that haven't had it.
It's because we're at home watching movies all the time that we don't have an opportunity to get it.
That's a good point. Erica says Texas is a place. Yes. And glad you like that.
I wasn't. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just used to.
I was going to say, for the first half of the film, it's something that you're not really anticipating based on the reputation that precedes it, and it's sort of just like a funny rom-com type of thing, and then it kind of the other shoe drops and it gets fucking insane. I like that first half. I just think I was expecting something different, so I was kind of waiting for the crazy shit to start. I think on a rewatch, I'd appreciate the whole thing more.
That makes sense. And I apologize. Sibner, you are right. I was getting it mixed up with Not Quite Hollywood. Yeah, the Driving Delirium is just trailers. That I just looked it up. You are correct. Yeah, I was thinking of Not Quite Hollywood. My apologies. They've blended in my mind, and I don't know why. And now that I think about it, Not Quite Hollywood may not even be the one. Somebody else correct me. I don't remember the other one that they did. Oh man. I can't
When
wait
someone's
to
got to correct you, we're in a bad spot.
can't wait for you to give some thoughts on Infernal Rapist.
I haven't seen it yet, so not tonight, but you'll hear my thoughts some way or another at some point.
And I literally just opened my Vinegar Syndrome January box today, so it's been a long time. Another pickup for me, I got in the Bubba Hotep set from Scream Factory that came in on 4K. And this is the alt slip. Have you heard about all the controversy surrounding this?
I saw somebody posted on their story, and I was just like, I don't have the time to look into this. Like, I don't know what the deal is. I'm not interested in buying it yet. So
everybody was complaining because there is a cutout on the back for the UPC. And I must admit, this does look ridiculous. Look how bad this cutout looks.
Yeah, that is a bit.
And there is a UPC on the back of it. So it looks double ridiculous.
Well, that's strange.
Scream Factory sent an email today that they are replacing this for everybody that bought this. And yeah, I'm giving this another look because I've never loved the film, but I do love Bruce Campbell, and I'm going to see if 4K helps at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I had never heard of it prior to this. This is going to be a rental for me, I think, because Scream Factory maybe, I think, overcharges for what they give you. So,
Yeah, I completely get that. Let's see. Any other recent watches, or shall we jump into announcements? Because I feel like we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, probably. Let me see if there's anything like crazy that I just watched. I've been a little all over the place lately. Yeah, I went through that whole Hong Kong set in like 2 days.
Whew, nice.
I watched Terrifier 2, which was nuts. Yeah.
How do you like it?
I like the first one a little bit better, I think.
Me too.
The second one is like, it's so long, and I think that it's like mostly justified, but I also think if we're being honest, we could shave 20 minutes off of that.
At least.
It also, yeah. I don't know. I'm still developing my thoughts on this kind of thing, but when I watch stuff like that, I'm just kind of like, what are we doing here? Are we just like reveling in this like extreme violence against vulnerable people like for fun? I don't really know how I feel about that. Like a lot of films could show that and make a statement about it, or it's so campy that it becomes ridiculous. But this is all very realistic. And I was watching the interview that the director did with some kind of podcast, the Bloody Disgusting podcast, I think, on the supplements. And the first question he asked them was like, what was your favorite gore moment? And they were like, oh, I was so sick when this happened. I was just like, I don't know about this. Maybe I'm, too stuck up or something. But...
Well, I think that shows why he did it. A lot of it is just they're shocking splatter moments, which I get that has a place and all that. But I also thought it was weird that when he was marketing the movie, he was talking about how if you're interested to see what I'm going to do with part 3, listen to the commentary, because that explains all of the exposition that's in this movie. And if we need to listen to a commentary on a 2-hour and 25-minute movie or whatever it is to understand it, on top of that, when it's just a splatter film, I don't know.
I mean, I know that he's building all this lore, but I didn't think it was like particularly difficult to understand or anything. I want to just say I don't have a problem with splatter films or like extreme gore. Like I watch a lot of that stuff, obviously. But this is going for like, I don't know, it approaches a level of realism where it feels wrong to be like laughing at it or to be entertained by it, which is clearly what he wants. I don't know. That's just kind of how I was feeling after like 2 hours of it,
And then you still weren't even done. So tonight, Celeste already brought up a good documentary, Kid Candidate. We are going to be talking about 5 of our favorite documentaries after this and discussing, just the craft of a documentary. There's so much that can go into that. But all of that will be coming after the announcements for this week. And of course, we have a whole lot to discuss. So here we go. First up for this week, you can already pre-order a 4K steelbook of M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin from Best Buy. The hard thing here, Best Buy has been doing some weird things with pricing lately, and this they're offering free shipping, but the price for this was $4 higher, and I don't know if it's changed yet, but yeah. How do you feel about Shyamalan? Because it's not somebody that we talk about a whole lot, and curious what you think.
I think he's obviously a bit of a mixed bag, but I don't think he's like terrible or anything, and I think I like some of his films better than a lot of people, honestly. I like that he kind of goes for it, like it's clearly his vision that he's, enacting on the screen, and
For sure.
I like that he just does, original scripts and stuff like that. He's definitely like a modern auteur of sorts, which I think is admirable. But I really like Unbreakable and I really like Split. It's a little bit questionable, but it's a very effective and entertaining film. I think I actually think The Village is pretty good. Like, I remember really liking that, and I bought a bootleg Blu-ray of it, so I'll be revisiting it at some point, and we'll see if that opinion holds up. But I'm trying to think which films I kind of avoid the ones that are like supposed to be complete garbage. I haven't come across them, and I just don't have. I mean, I have other priorities, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I am a sucker for The Happening. I don't know why. Everybody said
that's got Marky Mark in it, right?
Yep.
I can't fucking stand that guy.
No, I honestly can't either, but it is acted like it's meant to be like a 50s B movie. And if you think of it with that mindset going into it, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I could see myself liking it because it's probably really ridiculous and campy, and I could get into that. There's something about his presence. I think the only film I've liked him in is Fear, because he's so young that he's almost unrecognizable. Yep. And he's such a piece of shit that it's accurate,
Fear, and then if you want another one that's accurate, I will throw out there for Mark Wahlberg, Justice for the movie Four Brothers. That movie is crazy. It's a pretty decent revenge film of four brothers that grew up in this one, I believe it was a foster home, and it's violent, and he's basically just an erratic, violent piece of shit. So it works for him very well.
All right.
Sean's here. I feel like Sean hasn't been here live in a long time. So what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Not a fan of that artwork for the Knox Steelbook. I think they could have done better, to be honest. I think it's a little bit bland. The other thing, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've been seeing a lot of criticism of it, and I really like it. I don't know. I like the boldness of the design, and I like the color scheme on it, and I like what's going on here with the fingers and stuff. I don't know. When I first saw it, I was like, man, that's sick. Maybe I'll check this out.
The silhouette on the hand is nice for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wanted to throw out, I don't know if you followed any of the controversy or whatever, but they're like actively not crediting the author of the novel that this is based on, and completely not including his name on anything, which is really shitty to do.
Well, it also seems illegal, or like, how are they going to go away with that?
Yes, I don't know exactly. I read a little bit about it, but it's not great.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let's see.
Not cool.
Not cool at all. Going to the next one, we got Hell is for Heroes coming from Kino Lorber. This is coming on April 11th, and this gets a new 4K scan of the OCN, but this is coming on Blu-ray. New audio commentary with Steve Mitchell and author Stephen J. Rubin on this one, which is interesting. What's going on, Mid-Level Media?
Hey, Ken, what's up? We did a very long discussion last night that'll be dropping in a few weeks, so you can all wait with bated breath for that.
Nice. Very nice. So that's coming from Kino April 11th, and then another Kino. I've never seen this one, but we are getting Rent-A-Cop soon, and this is coming from a 4K scan of the OCN with Burt Reynolds and Liza Minnelli. What does this one scream to you?
I don't know. This seems like the kind of thing I'd find in a video store back in the day and still think is a bit questionable. But I don't know anything about
Absolutely.
it. So that's just, I'm judging a book by its cover, which I often do.
The cover asks for a lot of questions to be asked, though. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Liza Minnelli's always odd to me acting. I've never been a big fan of hers, and Burt Reynolds is Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
We shall see. Next up, this one was
Oh,
exciting for me because I love
here
this
we go.
movie. Kino is putting out a 4K UHD of Cujo, and this will have a Dolby Vision Master. What do you think of Cujo?
So my younger brother was on a Stephen King kick for a few years. And he had been trying to read every one of his books. He didn't get quite that far because it's a
It's a lot.
daunting prospect. But he probably read upwards of like 30 or 40 of them.
Wow.
And he doesn't really watch a lot of films, but he wanted to watch the film adaptations of these. And so that's how I would kind of indulge him in his passion, is watch the film adaptations with him. So I've actually seen a lot of Stephen King deep cuts because of that.
Nice.
And I have seen this one. And unfortunately, I didn't like it. But that was like 10 years ago. So there's a lot that changed between then and now. So definitely the sort of thing that could warrant a rewatch, especially, in super nice quality and everything.
Yeah. I'm eager to see this one. I haven't seen this one since I watched the Eureka release when it first came out a couple years ago. God, I say a couple years ago, but it had to have been like 4 years ago at this point. It's been a while.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was before Eureka was real big, and a lot of people were importing from the UK, and they put out one of the real nice hard boxes with the book and everything, and it's a pretty solid release. So curious about how this stacks up to that release. We shall see.
Yeah,
It's a good
for
movie.
sure. I remember thinking like, okay, because it's supposed to be scary, right? But me and my brother are just like really big dog people. Like just
Yeah.
anything with a dog in it is pretty easy for me to enjoy or find endearing. And it really is just like a dog that they kind of cut around to make him look scarier, And so maybe if you're like afraid of dogs, it would do it for you. But I was just like, I don't know, man. He's just cute. Like, just give my guy a treat. He's okay,
It is mostly a dog that they're cutting around, and then there's some not great shots of a guy in a dog costume, and it's not great.
Hey, Wave, thank you for being here.
RLJE is putting out Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge. I've not seen the first one. Have you watched either of these?
No, I've never heard of this, but I love the name Rad Chad. That's so sick.
So I believe, if I remember right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if you haven't seen, or if you've seen the first one, I thought this was an anthology film, but I may be wrong. I thought both of them were. This one, if anybody has watched the recent film that Arrow put out for Christmas, which, oh gosh, I talked about this just a few episodes ago. They put out a really nice release with a slipcover and everything, I think in December, for that movie, The Leech. And the main character of that film, which is the priest, was Graham Skipper. And that is Graham Skipper. Right here in this.
Like he's seen better days.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to watch this one. Graham Skipper is a wonderful person. He does a lot of stuff that I've been involved with recently, and yeah, I'm curious to see this one. Yeah, he's on a lot of the podcasts I produce, and then he just put out the only authorized from Toho Guide to Godzilla. And it was translated into a bunch of different languages, and it just came out in October. So if you're looking for that, look up Graham Skipper Godzilla.
I gotta get that. Let me
look that up. It's not that expensive either. It's like $30 ish.
Ooh.
So yeah, very worth
it. I didn't know that you produced podcasts other than your own. That's probably a little embarrassing that I didn't know that. That's really cool.
No big deal. I help with a podcast called the Incinerator Podcast. It's produced by, or directed and hosted by Billy Ray Bruton, who is a he's involved in like 19 different things, but he's done Scripts Gone Wild. He is behind the new Seattle Film Festival that is coming out here soon, and Yeah,
Hmm.
I edit and mix all of his podcasts that he puts out and do a lot of
How
stuff.
the hell do you have time for this stuff?
I
Like
don't.
between your job and this, I already thought it was a bit much, but you're out here like freelancing like other people's shit. Like what? Come on.
The best thing is because I work for the government, I
Uh,
have it's a very true stereotype. Like 60% of my life is meetings, and I
mm,
tend to listen to both at the same time. So I start work at 6 in the
jeez.
morning, and I'll set all my mixes on the podcast, and then I'll just listen to make sure there's nothing to edit out throughout the rest of the day while I'm listening to meetings in the other ear.
Sheesh. I don't know
It's
about
a
that.
lot.
Hopefully
uh,
hopefully your supervisor isn't a viewer.
no, she better not be.
Yeah.
Um, March 28th, we're getting the limited series starring one Julia Roberts called Gaslit, and this is coming straight from Universal. I have never seen this. It looks interesting to me. I've enjoyed some of the good Julia Roberts stuff. Are you a Julia Roberts person?
Uh not I don't want to like talk shit or anything. I'm just trying to think of something she's in that I've seen at all, honestly.
Ocean's 12, maybe?
Oof. No,
No?
not that
Aaron
one.
Brockovich?
No, I don't think so.
We'll go all the
Yeah,
way
I don't
back
know.
to Pretty Woman, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
what's going on, Ashton?
Now,
Grit
is this like
says,
a
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you're good.
Um, I was gonna say, is this like a modern take on Gaslight, the classic Hollywood film, or is this
No,
just like in response to this word that has kind of become a meme in pop psychology?
it is in regards to the Watergate scandal. So it does
Oh,
have
completely different.
some actual reasoning to have the word there, and it does make sense.
Okay,
So
interesting.
yes.
Okay.
It says Gaslit is a modern take on the Watergate scandal through the long neglected lens of the lesser known, but no less key players involved in the downfall of America's 37th president, from Nixon's bumbling, opportunistic subordinates to the deranged zealots aiding and abetting their crimes to the tragic whistleblowers who would eventually bring the whole rotten enterprise crashing to the ground. And Sean Penn is in this as well.
Nice.
And Betty Gilpin and Dan Stevens. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh shit, Rockadoodle, that shit rips. I fucking love that movie.
Rockadoodle's pretty
That's
good.
the one I've seen.
Jason says, I watched both scare packages, enjoyed the first one better, but they're both decent. Sean just bought his first Godzilla film. Wow.
Hell yeah. Okay,
Interesting.
now that we're back on the subject, I have the book pulled up on Amazon, and it is actually a very reasonable price, and it's got the Shin Godzilla cover. Uh,
Yeah.
when I have money again, I need to get this because this looks great.
And it's
I'm
all
sure.
encompassing. Toho was
Yeah.
involved. They gave
Oh,
authorization to use things that no one else has gotten authorization for.
that's so
Yes.
sick.
Very, very
Yeah, I
solid
think
release.
I think anybody who watches any of my videos knows how important Godzilla is to me. So this is cool. I'm surprised I didn't know about it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to tell you. Let's see. I wonder if soon we will get the Luigi Cozzi film on an official release soon. What a bizarre work. Interesting. Let's see. Paul says Eric Roberts is better than Julia Roberts. Did you see Mystic Pizza? Matt, how'd
No.
Ryan name the only two Julia movies I like? I gotta know which ones. Joe Jack wants to know, is Celeste a Gen Z?
Am I a Gen Z? It depends on who you ask, but I think so. Yeah, I think I'm on the tail end of that one in terms
Right
of
on the cusp, yeah.
just made the cutoff. Yeah.
Josephine, what's going on? First time watches Tale of the Fox, Lilies of the Field, Top Secret, nice. Unfaithful, interesting. And then Rockadoodle. Rockadoodle is great. Sardis
That's the one.
says, is this streaming anywhere? It probably is.
Let me check for you.
Oh, cool. Already
Gaslit.
halfway
Yeah.
there. Yeah, Gaslit. Let's go to the next one while you're looking at that. Cohen Media is putting out Up, Down, Fragile. This is a film by Jacques Rivette from 1995, and we are just getting inundated with the French cinema over the first 4 or 5 months of this year, which is crazy, but great. It's so nice to see that we are getting so many of these films in really high quality.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I'm putting forth an original thought when I say how much I hate their cover design, but you know, it is
Really?
what it is. It's yeah, it's just got this garish ass C on top of the whole thing. It takes up like a third of the whole space. I don't know,
It
not for
does.
me, but
You know,
you know, at least it's recognizable, and I actually like their spines. I like how uniform they are and everything.
I'm gonna check. Ugh.
While he's
I
doing
was
that, I did look it up, and Gaslit is streaming on Amazon Prime and the Roku channel. It's also 480 minutes long, so I guess it's a mini series.
Yes, it is a limited series.
Okay. Okay.
For some reason, I thought the Cohen ones you can reverse. Although maybe I picked a terrible one to try to reverse because it's a Buster Keaton collection.
Oh, they're reversible? I
I
don't know
thought
that I
they
ever
were.
checked.
I may be wrong.
I'll have to check. Yeah.
I may be
I've got
wrong.
like 3 of them, maybe.
Let's see. Have either of you watched the House of Psychotic Women box set? Looking into it right now, I've watched one of the titles, and I liked it. It was the one that I kind of thought I was gonna like, so I'm not entirely sure about the others yet. I do hope to get there soon.
I haven't gotten it yet, but it's definitely on the ever expanding list of things that I want. So I love the idea. I just think it's such a cool idea. So I hope they do more of them.
That would be
Uh,
nice.
Question for you, Ryan, because you're the expert. Uh, whenever I look at a Kino sale, I want some of these Cohen titles because they really, you know,
Yes.
have a lock on a lot of this art house stuff that I'm into. Um, but I'm always wondering because Kino's been pretty consistent about doing the 4K upgrades, but to my knowledge, Cohen doesn't have a single one yet. Do you know if they are planning on doing that at all, or is that just not something they're interested in?
I have not heard of any of theirs possibly coming.
Mhm.
Beyond that, I feel like Cohen has just finally started to get noticed for a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
So if it were to happen, I wouldn't see it happening for a couple of years at least. And those
Mhm.
sales, most of the Cohen titles are usually $9.99, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
hard to argue with. And
for sure.
their film choice is like top notch. Cohen, yes,
They're
a lot
great.
of people
Mhm.
hate the cover on these, and I totally get it. I'm the
It's
kind of
really
idiot.
not that big of a deal.
I
I'm
like
just
them.
being a hater.
No, you're good. I like them because they're very uniform. But
Yeah.
absolutely worth it for $10. Most of their stuff, I feel like not only do they make good choices on what they're getting, most of them are fairly. I don't really want to say they're not mainstream, really, but they're kind of all encompassing for the type of films that people would enjoy. They
Mhm.
just make very good choices on
Yeah, I
taste.
mean, well, they're one of the few labels I would think that really just don't care about catering to a certain genre or a certain like fan base. Like they just want to put out good ass films. Like and that, you know, for them that typically means a lot of like artsy dramas and stuff. Um,
That's
which is
true.
like what I really like, but I feel like a lot of companies pass on it because it doesn't sell as well. It's kind of what Jonathan from Fun City was talking about with you, how like
Yeah,
a lot of people just didn't gamble on these because you know they don't fit into a particular niche. But he's just like,
right.
but they're just good, so they'll sell. And you know that's kind of how I feel too.
And
Um,
it's sad that good movies is a
yeah,
risk when they're not
yeah,
horror and cult.
yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, you know, I love that stuff a lot, as I'm sure we all do. But I don't know, like that's half of my film taste, and the other half is just like good ass dramas, you know, like the kind of thing that Criterion puts out a lot. Cohen Media Group,
Yeah.
Kino too is really good about it, you know.
Oh yeah. Totally get it. Uh, this is a good question. I normally chat's not this active, but everybody's here for the Vinegar
Yeah,
Syndrome
everyone's
sale.
popping off.
Josephine wants to know, somebody who works for the government, what is our favorite political thriller or movie set in DC? And as somebody who majored in politics, I mean, that's good for both of us. I'll let you
I don't
take
know
that
about
one
my
first.
absolute favorite, but the first one that came to mind was Primary Colors with John Travolta. That's like a kind of it's not explicitly about it because I don't think they wanted to get into any legal trouble, but it's obviously about the Clintons, Bill Clinton specifically, and his whole scandal and everything. Um, it's just a really, really excellent look into politics, especially of that time. And it's not like this sort of thing where everyone is portrayed as being totally morally bankrupt and rotten. Like you see people genuinely caring and trying, and then you also see people who are just terrible, you know? it just discusses things with a nuance and a thoughtfulness that I really appreciated. Um, I've seen it twice, and it's also just really funny. I don't know. I feel like that's a really underrated one. There's better ones for sure, and I'd have to think about it. But that's just the
Personal
first one that
pick.
came to mind because it's so overtly and deeply political and about politics itself, and I think it handles it really excellently.
That's a very good choice. Yeah, not one that we hear a lot about nowadays.
Have you seen it?
I'm I have years ago, not enough to like provide good discourse for sure. It's been a
Mhm.
long time, but I think it was around the time when I was trying to see like, can I actually like John Travolta? There's not much from him that I've truly appreciated, and that he's done a few like that. Like the General's Daughter is not like a great movie
Mhm.
overall, but it's kind of similar feeling at least in a few of the scenes. Yeah, watched it around that time when I watched the General's Daughter.
John Travolta is one of those people where I actually do really like him as an actor, but he's also a Scientologist, which I have kind of an inherent problem with. So
Yeah.
there's that. But
My easy go-to answer for this, and it's probably not a great pick nowadays because I feel like people's tastes on it have gone down. I don't know why. I really liked Argo. It kind of clicked well for me
yeah,
when I first saw it.
yeah, I really liked it when I saw it too, and I think it's like it become one of those things where it's cool to shit on it. Maybe
Yeah,
because of like very toxic Best Picture discourse, where it's like, well, it wasn't good enough for that, so it's
right.
bad. I don't know about all that, but I remember really liking it when I watched it too.
Yeah, I think the acting in that for most of the people was surprisingly good in a film that they could have kind of phoned it in and gotten a lot of the same accolades just for what they were talking about. But most people, it seemed like they genuinely tried on that. It was nice.
hmm
Uh,
I agree with what Stan said. Emma Thompson is amazing in that film. Primary colors, that is.
Absolutely true. Yeah.
And
Uh,
I think John Travolta was really good too,
Jeez,
honestly.
I am
Yeah,
really
this
far
chat
behind.
is moving.
Footprints and I Like Bats from the Psychotic Women are great. We got a couple people that love them all. How about the Michael J. Murphy set from Indicator? Had credit card points, picked it up completely blind. Anyone familiar know where I should start? It's an entire work from
I
an off.
think everyone's blind buying that one.
Yeah. Like somebody in our Discord, they posted that I think it was Jeff, that they got
Mm.
it in and they were starting it, and the first movie that they watched had 6 reviews on Letterboxd. Like that's the type of box set that we're getting into. So you got to be ready for
I,
a
yeah.
lot.
I feel like you gotta wait a month at least for people to actually watch it because like no one else has, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Stan says because of Ryan, I'm going to spend a shit ton of money on Hammer Horror.
Well, there's good budget options for that if you want
That
to,
is true.
know?
That is true. Man, lot. Okay, I can't keep up with the chat. We're gonna go to the next one, so this doesn't take forever. Music Box Films, which is an OCN partner label, but this is not coming out on the Vinegar Syndrome website. They are
Mhm.
putting out Leonore Will Never Die on March 14th, and everything I've heard about this, and you can actually see if you're watching this right now. Erica's comment here saw this at Fantastic Fest and loved it. This supposedly
Mm.
is incredible. So this says Leonor Reyes was once a groundbreaking figure in the Filipino film industry during its ragtag action cinema glory days, but now she struggles with old age, mounting bills, and the untimely death of her son. While revisiting an unfinished script about a fearless protagonist trying to avenge his brother's murder, Leonor is struck on the head by a falling television set and knocked into a coma. As she lies unconscious in the hospital, fantasy and reality begin to blur when Leonore finds herself awake inside her script, becoming the hero of her own story. An innovative blend of pulpy action homages, playful comedy, and touching family drama, Leonore Will Never Die is a wonderfully imaginative tribute to the art of filmmaking. And when I first read that, it sounds to me kind of similar to what I got from Be Kind Rewind back in the day.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I am dying to see this one.
Let's
This
see. I'm
it
looking at
sounds
it
great.
now. That's from the Philippines.
Yes. And Erica says
And
yes, and I rarely like new movies.
it's directed by a woman too. It's checking all my boxes. It looks
Nice.
really good, honestly. Yeah, I'm into this. I want to check this out for sure.
Adam
Yes,
wants to
Adam,
know.
I saw the whole set. It's really good. The third one is my least favorite. Sorry, Ryan, I don't mean to cut you
Is
off
that
all the
the
time.
camp one?
Yes, Deadly
Yeah, I've heard
Cameras.
that one
It's
is
called
not
that
great.
one's.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the other ones. I mean, it's good for what it is, but it's a lot, honestly. I think the second one, Erotic Nightmare, was actually my favorite. Uh, it's the most depraved and the most interesting, so that's the one that I liked the most.
Red Blake, if you need help, just DM me or email me. I will help you get in there. I promise.
You got to pay
uh,
to play on that one, friend. But no, it's not actually that hard.
let's see. Check out the movie Basic if you haven't already. A real hidden gem in his later career. Interesting. Okay. Reminds me a bit of Final Girls. All right, let's go to the next one, which is Kids versus Aliens from RLJE. This is coming on March 28th. This one is getting an audio commentary by the director Jason Eisner, making a featurette, and yeah, that's it. I've heard okay things about this, but not really my super style. Although it's directed by the guy that did Hobo with a Shotgun, so I loved Hobo with a Shotgun.
Still haven't seen it.
You probably should.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know that you would love it, but at least it would be something that you had an experience with.
Yeah, that's all I can ask for, really.
Demon's Baby gave me a lot of early Peter Jackson vibes.
I agree with that.
Interesting. That sounds enticing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this for the third week in a row.
Oh my God.
BFI is putting out on April 24th in the UK, of course, a 4K release of Full Circle, which is the UK name for The Haunting of Julia. So now we have a Scream Factory release in 4K, an imprint release on Blu-ray that includes the soundtrack, and then this 4K release in the UK, and it is taking over the world. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
This is crazy. And from what I'm hearing, the rights holders, they approached everybody and wanted these all to get released all at the same time. And unfortunately, with the way companies are announcing things, it was just 3 weeks in a row. So yes, we are getting 3 releases. We don't know Scream Factory's special features yet. So if you're dying to have this movie, which I will admit, a lot of people wanted to see this because this has been not on Blu-ray. This is the first time it's been in high def anywhere in the world on these 3. So at the same time, we have 3 to choose from. We don't know the Scream Factory extras. Here are the BFI extras. Imprint has a CD, but it's also only a Blu-ray. So if you really want the movie, yeah, got to make a choice.
Is this one only a Blu-ray too?
No, this one is 4K as well.
Oh, shit. Okay, damn. All right. Yeah, then that is harder, huh?
Yeah, and
there was a 4th one out there too. It seems like it's every week.
Maybe next week we'll talk about another one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thank you for checking. Chester says, just checked. None of my Cohen Blu-rays have reversible artwork. All right.
I'll find a way to survive, I guess.
Brent said, watched The Haunting of Julia just last week. Interesting movie, slow burn, creepy vibes. Interesting watch, and that ending. Interesting.
That's definitely my kind of thing. I like the slower ones.
Sibner, don't put that toxic juju on us. He says, when is the Best Buy exclusive Haunting of Julia Steelbook coming out? Not now. Scream Factory might announce it.
You know what? Target exclusive, Walmart exclusive with a fucking t-shirt in it or something. Like, let's just go all out with it.
The Target exclusive will be a DVD for some reason.
Yeah.
Also, kind of notable before we leave this one, this is the first 4K release from the BFI Flipside line. So they might do more of those in the future now.
Wait, what is the Flipside line?
The Flipside line, they define it interestingly. Let me pull up what they say. They say it is a series of dual format editions, which was launched in May 2009 and blah, blah, blah. It charts the untold history of British film.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they've done a lot of decent titles in there. They did the ones that I bought last year, the year before, the super short shocks, I think is what they called them. They're these really short like horror thrillers that they did, and yeah, pretty damn good.
No, wait, when you say short, do you mean like 60 minutes or do you mean like 4 minutes?
No, like 10, and it's a whole bunch of them.
Okay,
Um,
nice. I love short film compilations. That's like one of my favorite things to get. Ooh,
it is
yes.
very out of my reach, or I would grab it.
Erica, that's an excellent idea.
Bed Bath and Beyond exclusive with an apple peeler. Oh man, let's see.
Maybe
Looking
Build-A-Bear should do a build your own Juliet. Okay, I'll stop.
Wow. That BFI release has a lot of new extras compared to the imprint, and some of the imprint stuff said exclusive, if I remember right. So you may want to really look at these. I don't know. Paul says Blockbuster exclusive on PHS.
There's like one that's left, maybe. Yeah, they'll get a lot of traffic for that one.
More BFI coming. They're putting out EO, the donkey film from 2020, technically 2023, I believe. That's coming out on April 3rd, and this is done by Jerzy Skolimowski, who is a filmmaker we're going to talk about again in just a second. But this also has a 56-minute short from 1980 in it. It's a children's film. There is, let's see, recorded at the Lincoln Center in New York. There it is. High Rise Donkey, 56 minutes. In this children's film foundation adventure, 3 children who live in a high-rise tower block try to save a donkey from 2 small-time crooks. Interesting extra. Great. Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is going to get a Region A, and from who, if so.
Yeah. I could actually see this coming Criterion eventually.
I think so too, honestly. I think that's likely. If not them, then probably Kino is what I would guess.
Maybe.
But yeah, this is on my list to watch because I'm planning on doing like an Oscar stream, and I want to watch as many of them as possible. And nice. I think this one is up for Best Foreign Film.
I believe so.
So yeah. I love animal films, and I love art house stuff. So as long as they don't like brutally murder this poor donkey, I should love it, I think.
Oh man, who was it? Ashton said she just saw EO. Please let Celeste know that they do not brutally murder this.
Okay.
Here you go. Yeah. Ashton says EO got released by Janice here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It did.
Yeah. Criterion absolutely. Will be the one.
Yep.
Let's see. The BFI 4K of 7th Seal was a really good transfer. I will buy BFI again if they're all that high quality. I mean, BFI it's literally the British Film Institute, so they put all kinds of stuff into these releases. Donkey in a High Rise. It's a secret prequel to Evil Dead Rise.
I saw the trailer for that the last time I was at the movies for Skinamarink, and it looks like something. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know if it looks like Evil Dead, but it looks like something.
Yeah, it took me a while to guess what it was. I was like, is this like an Exorcist reboot or something? And I was like, oh no, it's Evil Dead.
There's no murder in EO, luckily. Good.
Sick.
Oh, don't. Again with that evil. Sibner says, what if they put out Haunting of Julia media book? They probably will at this point. Yeah. We got to have a German release. May 22nd. Go ahead.
I said, I was just going to say, I'd be okay if the donkey murdered somebody. That'd be fine with me. But, you know.
The ass that claps back.
Yeah.
On May 22nd in the UK, BFI is releasing La Règle du Jeu from 1939. This is an interesting sounding film that I've never seen. It's a Jean Renoir. Denigrated by the public, vilified by the critics, recut at the insistence of its producers, and finally banned by the French government as demoralizing and unpatriotic.
I gotta see that then.
I knew you were going to say that immediately.
That's just the magic words right there. It's like... Come on.
This was a commercial disaster at the time of its original release. On the surface, a series of interlinked romantic intrigues taking place at a weekend shooting party in a country chateau. The film is in fact a study of corruption and decay within French society on the eve of the outbreak of World War II. Its reputation firmly restored, this brilliant comedy is now widely recognized as one of the greatest films ever made.
It's a bold claim.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
As soon as I read that, I figured I am probably going to want to see this very soon.
Yeah, for sure.
We just mentioned Jerzy Skolimowski. They are also releasing Hands Up and Identification Marks None on BFI on April 24th in the UK. And yeah, this is 2 different films, and they got some extras on here. We got some archival interviews with the director, a video essay by Polish film expert Michael Brook, and an illustrated booklet. Looks good.
I love this artwork. It's very
Me too.
yeah, it's eye-catching. Good job on his last name. I don't know that I would have tried.
For some reason, I've always been decent with Polish names, and it helps
Yeah,
what I
they
do.
trip me up bad.
It helps what I do for a living that I'm able to read a lot of these names, but still French and oh man, names from India. I always leave out like whole
Rough.
syllables, and I don't know why.
I'm getting better with the French names, I think, but yeah, I mean, if you're not super familiar with it, it can really throw you for a loop. And I mean, different dialects have different rules to them, so I feel like even if I try to do it phonetically, I might end up, butchering this poor person's name.
Yeah. That's for sure. Nick Amides says it's the Rule of the Game's French title, La Règle du Jeu. I've still never seen the Rules of the Game.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that a Criterion? Did I make that up?
No, I think it is. That does make sense.
I'm gonna fact check myself real quick.
Rules of yep. Came out November of 2011.
Yeah, this is an old one. Okay, cool.
Still in print too.
Yeah.
Yep. Not too bad. And we'll go to the next one. I believe this is the last one from BFI. They're putting out a film by Mark Jenkin. I don't know if this is pronounced right. We'll say Enismen? From visionary filmmaker Enyamen. Cool. I never would have pulled that out. This is the BAFTA award-winning director of Bait. Enyamen is a mind-bending Cornish folk horror set in 1973 that unfolds on an uninhabited island off the Cornish coast. I'm already in. A wildlife volunteer's daily observations of a rare flower take a dark turn into the strange and metaphysical, forcing both her and viewers to question what is real and what is a nightmare. Is the landscape not only alive, but sentient?
Sick.
When I posted this, I immediately went, good God, I need to see this.
Yeah.
So we have an onstage Q&A with the director and Mary Woodbine by film critic Mark Kermode at BFI. There is a conversation with the director and Peter Strickland, which I would love to hear. Peter Strickland is amazing. They discuss the subtleties of sound in film, which fascinating. Haunters of the Deep, a 61-minute children's film foundation adventure that shares many of the same West Cornwall locations as this, and made quite an impression on its director. So going with those children films from BFI this month.
Wait, did you say what year this film is from?
This is from 2023.
Okay, that's what I thought. It was a modern one. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see that. I'm a real sucker for the folk horror stuff.
Same. Absolutely. I've heard a lot of good things about this when I posted this. A lot of people were happy. Kino coming in hot with the film noir Dark Side of Cinema number 12 release details. That's coming on April 4th with Undertow, Outside the Wall, and Hold Back Tomorrow. All three of these are brand new 2K masters. We get a new commentary on Undertow by Scott Brady's son, Tim Tierney, and professor and film scholar Jason A. Ney. Outside the Wall has a new commentary by Alan K. Rode, and there are no commentaries on the other one. There is a trailer for Hold Back Tomorrow, and that's it. Film noir. How deep are you into film noir?
Not super deep. I mean, I've watched I like all the essentials and stuff, but I don't know. I kind of have a cynical sort of take on it where it feels like we'll just throw together like 3 really mid studio films that have some dark cinematography and call it noir and call it a day. I don't know. That's probably not a fair characterization considering I've not watched any of them, but that's sort of the impression I get where it's clear that they're not confident that these titles could sell on their own, but if you put them in a line that people will collect or associate with films that they like a lot, that's just pretty basic marketing stuff, but yeah, maybe they're better than I'm giving them credit for. I typically like classic Hollywood stuff just in general. So
That makes sense. Yeah, it's crazy that we're on number 12 of this when like a year and a half ago we had, I think we had one was out of print and then 2, 3, and 4, and that was it. And we have just seen an explosion on this line, and now Volume 1 is even back in print. So
yeah.
super interesting. And then it
Oh boy.
takes a turn for the worse this week.
There you go.
We got some interesting announcements from Warner Brothers, and I apologize ahead of time for these because there is some weird information. So first of all, we are getting some. Let's see. In the UK, we have 3 different small box sets announced and a huge box set announced. In the US, we have a Volume 4 box set announced, but I don't think we have details on the first 3 because there's not a guarantee that they're the same as the UK. And let's just dive in. So coming on September 18th in the UK, the 100 Years of Warner Brothers Studio 4K collection. So this is covering 3 eras of Hollywood with classic Hollywood, new Hollywood, and modern blockbusters. And these are all on 4K. And they are including films that were not even originally released by Warner Brothers, but that they own the rights to now, which I feel like that's kind of a weird choice when you're
Yeah, I
celebrating
mean,
the studio.
exactly. I didn't actually know that. Like, sure, like put them out, because you have the rights, but don't put them in your like history retrospective. That's a bit dishonest, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is housed in unique premium packaging with a cardboard outer slipcase and magnetic WB shield clasp. They got 3 lay flat books, each holding
Kind of
10
fun.
4K discs. So there are 30 4K discs in this, split into each of the eras that we were just talking about. And there are timelines detailing the studio's impact on Hollywood. There is also 1 capacity book that holds 8 Warner Brothers logo pin badges from across the studio's history, a 32-page booklet, and some other premium extras. The interesting thing about this one is that they are going to be supposedly exclusively housing Rio Bravo and East of Eden in 4K for the first time. Now, that word
Mhm.
exclusively, that does not mean that they're not going to get a standalone release. Warner Brothers has always put out their titles without having an exclusive in a box set. They are not Sony. Sony has done that quite a few times. I would not expect that to. I'm not going to expect this to be exclusive with them for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the films in this, we got 2001: A Space Odyssey, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Cool Hand Luke, East of Eden, The Maltese Falcon, Rebel Without a Cause, Rio Bravo, Singing in the Rain, The Wizard of Oz. That's all classic Hollywood. Then New Hollywood, which goes from the 70s to the 80s. A Clockwork Orange, Batman, Beetlejuice, Blade Runner, Enter the Dragon, The Exorcist, The Goonies, Superman the Movie, The Shining, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Then, modern blockbusters. We have A Star is Born, Argo, Elvis, Goodfellas, It, Mad Max Fury Road, The Matrix, The Shawshank Redemption, Training Day, and Unforgiven.
I didn't hear a single good film in the whole bunch. I'm joking. Of course, there's a lot of amazing films in there, but it's like, I mean, I think most of us already have like a third of these at least, right?
At
Like,
least, yeah.
I mean,
So
come on.
that's the hard part. A lot of these are likely not going to go to collectors that have been collecting these as they came out.
Yeah,
However, if somebody's just getting into 4K and they don't have a lot of these, this is like a really nice Christmas present if you're super
that's
generous.
true. That's true. Yeah, I watched Elliot Cohen's video about this today, and he made a really good point, I think. It's just like, who is this for? Like, the
Right.
average person's not shelling out $300+ for 30 4Ks that they can't play on their non-existent 4K player. And people like us
Right.
already have this shit. Like, who is it for? I don't know. Like, I think that exact person you just described is about it. And I don't know if that's, what, 10,000 units worth or whatever, you know?
Well, and honestly, it's not even very 2000 or 2023. That's not something that's commonly happening right now, I'm sure. Most people that are
Mhm.
wanting something like this, they probably already have most of the singles And other people
Mhm.
that would be stoked to get this for Christmas, most people around them are not going to be shelling out $250 for a nice eclectic 30 film
Yeah.
4K collection. And I do see this coming down to probably about $250, but that's still nowhere near close enough to make this super like a must-have or anything.
You know,
But on the other side,
maybe
go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, maybe if I did the math on it, and if I sold some of the individuals that I already have, it would end up being a cost saving slash space saving type of thing. But I don't know. The whole thing just seems cumbersome and a little much, to
Yeah,
be
and
honest.
if it doesn't fit on a shelf, I don't know how much space saving it would be for me.
Yeah, it's a display piece for sure, and I have
I'd
enough of
have
those
to
the
I'd
stuff
have
that
to
I
get
actually wanted.
get a deep shelf for my Shawscopes and Columbia Classics already.
Mhm.
This is what they are doing for the smaller sets. So we have 5 film collections that they're putting out. Each of these are 5 films on 4K. We have 3 of them here. Each one has 5 from the list that I already read. I'm not going to read it again. So if you want just a smaller set, you can get one of them. It's These are a little better and easier if you have less, obviously. But again, even if you got all 3, it's only half of the films in the big box. So if you have 2 in each of these, it already is not great to be able to buy one of these.
It's a very strange rollout. I don't quite understand it.
Stefano says I could see buying this. I only have 1 or 2 films in 4K. Well, there you go. Maybe
Well,
you are
nice.
the
I'm glad that like literally one person can like get something out of this. That's good, you know? Like no, seriously, I'm not being facetious. I'm glad that you could look forward to this.
and that's a good thing because a lot of people that are having maybe they're getting their 4K for the first time right now because it's finally been 7 years since the first 4K release. Nay, now it's a good time for the format. There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. Nicomedes says only 2 of the 30s to 60 set are even Warner Brothers movies. The
Man,
other
that's
8
insane.
are not.
What's going on there? Like, come on.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyways,
I think real quick, I think you skipped their comment, but Stan said that I'm cool. So thanks, Stan. I appreciate that. You're probably really cool too.
Stan is amazing. We did the Patreon watch along last month, and we watched a Wong Kar-wai film.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stan just stayed on the phone afterward, or on the Discord on our voice channel for like 2 hours afterwards, just
Oh,
hanging out.
cool. Well, yeah, I didn't know you were in the Discord. Hit me up there if you want.
It was a wonderful time. They should have just done a made to order and allowed people to choose a specific number of movies from a list. I mean, that'd be
I've
great.
never heard of anything like that. That would be fun, right?
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Chameleon Films in Australia is releasing a double feature of Election and Election 2, the Johnny Toe films. And these look really good. Never seen either one of these. Johnny Toe is great at what he does, though. These are the inner arts for the 2 films. These dark, moody films exude a relentless air of menace as they strip the glamour and gunplay away from the triads and take us through the battles for the top job in the Wo Sing triad. Candidates negotiate with the uncles who uphold the historical traditions of the triad societies, while they must also deal with the politics of contemporary Hong Kong as it moves inexorably into the orbit of the mainland. And we get actual features on this. New audio commentary for Election by Frank Zhang and John Charles. There is a 2016 masterclass with Johnny Toe. It is an audio recording, which is pretty damn cool. We get some interviews with Johnny Toe and some actors, making of, and then on the second one, we get basically all the same type of stuff. We got a new audio commentary with Frank Zhang and John Charles again, a supplemental audio commentary by Frank Zhang, some interviews, a new video essay on the election films. I mean, this looks like a pretty damn killer release if you're into this stuff.
Yeah, I love this kind of thing. Dark and moody. I wonder who among us that might describe accurately. Probably you.
Yes, I am a goth girl at heart for sure.
Oh, for sure. I can see it.
Sad thing is I kind of am. What's going on, Cam? Nice to see you here tonight.
Ryan, I believe in the goth girl in you. I believe that person can shine through if he really wanted
I
to.
mean, it is true. I went to many, many emo shows in my life.
Yeah, I'm always there.
Sibner, all those great Warner Archive films and barely any included in the sets. I mean, give us some more Warner Archive titles on 4K. That's the biggest thing.
Are
Let's
there
do it.
any?
No, Warner Archive has not released any
Yeah, I don't
straight
think
from
so.
Warner Archive yet. No. Ashton, I think next week I'm going to do a major haul and finally get my region free player. Nice.
Hell yeah,
Very
region free
nice.
gang.
We talked about that in the Discord today too. Nicomedes, this channel is the discovery of the year for me. Thanks. I mean, that means a lot.
I agree.
Yes, region free gang, John. Come on, region free, not region B. Yes, Chameleon has been a big deal for a lot of people. 3 solid releases. This is their 4th and 5th spine, and then they wanted to make sure that everybody could be happy. And now you can buy slipcovers for their first 3 films. And I just got to throw something out about this. I posted this, and they complained that Chameleon was putting these out, and I just had to laugh. Like, just because you don't collect slipcovers and you don't care about it, other people might, and they want their collection to look the same. But the biggest thing, it's not expensive. Like, these 3 slipcovers shipped from Australia is $24.
That's very reasonable.
That's the exact same price as 3 Vinegar Syndrome slipcovers without shipping.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fantastic. So,
I don't know.
yes, these look good, and they look like your collection will look great with them if you want. But the better thing is, if you're going to get election, you can go order these slipcovers and add election to your order, and your shipping cost does not increase at all. So you're already paying for it. May as well get election as well.
Did we see Stardust's comment that they hate the word election?
No,
I want to know why, because I have words that I hate too.
Election's not great after the last handful of years, so yeah.
Well, yeah, it could be like, upsetting, conjuring memories of horror.
A 10 Warner Archive film 4K set would have been great. Absolutely.
I feel like if they were reading the room, they would know that that's what we want, and that would probably sell better, honestly. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that's in a bubble or something, but I just don't understand the thinking here, honestly.
I mean, I'm not going to say the name because the more times that we say it out loud, they keep delaying it. But what we all really want is a 4K release of a very, very specific Ken Russell film that still can't get any release, and that would be nice. Yeah. So hopefully Warner does that soon. Yes, USNA 98 says Chameleon sent out a poll asking if people wanted these slips, and the majority said yes, so they made them. And that makes sense to me. They've done right every single time.
That's democracy in action right there.
Yep. It's very much an election. Coming out April 3rd on 4K in the UK from Artificial Eye Curzon, whatever they're called. They have like 2 different names. The Double Life of Veronique from 1991. This got soft announced about a month ago. These are the Kieslowski, or this is the Kieslowski film. The film follows 2 young women, both called Veronica, who seem to have a single existence, albeit in different countries. They are identical, sharing mannerisms, predilections, and musical talent. They nurture ambition, hopes, and loves, and suffer from the same rare heart disease. Kieslowski's oblique, luminously photographed, and hauntingly scored film is an enigmatic tale of double identity. I've somehow never seen this, and I am dying to. I'm a big fan of like twin and doppelganger films. So when I first read this, I was like,
yeah,
how has this not been in my life before? This sounds amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Is this one a Criterion too? I feel like it is. But maybe not.
I didn't think so. Let me see. Somebody else is probably going to answer before I see it.
There it is.
It is already?
Mm-hmm. That is Spine 359. It is on Blu-ray disc.
So the rumor is that this would be coming to 4K soon from Criterion as well, because they're putting out the 3 Colors trilogy, and so is Artificial Eye Curzon. So it would just be adding on to the little relationship they got going on with the Kieslowski films.
Yeah, that's probably coming up pretty soon.
Big fan of this title. Might need to snag this one. Nice. Did the 3 Colors trilogy get a bad color transfer? that comment boards be complaining. I've not seen it yet. I'm waiting for a sale for sure.
The Blu-ray.com review was like extremely negative, and so people are wondering now. I
Hmm.
don't know. To be honest, I've never seen them, so I don't have a point of comparison, and I don't own the set yet. So,
I've
I
not
need
seen them
somebody
either.
more educated to tell me.
That is the truth for me. Raro Video is putting out the new Godfathers from 1978. Reminder that this is a Kino Lorber partner label, and you should only be buying this title from Kino Lorber directly and not from the Raro website, because you run the risk of never getting it. Raro is
Oh, that's
awful
fun.
when you go to them directly.
Mhm.
This is with the American mafia families pooling their resources to bring huge quantities of cheap heroin into the country. It's up to Italian customs official Ivano Radovich to allow the authorities to, I probably said that terribly because it's Italian, to allow the authorities to intercept the drugs en route to the USA. He enters into an unlikely partnership with Naples mob boss Don Francesco Attiero, whose specialty is cigarette smuggling. Together, they enter into an unpredictably violent war on drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you first pulled this up, I thought that was a very large killer bee, and so I'm a little bit disappointed.
When I
This
first
sounds
saw it,
very serious and, maybe actually good. I don't know. I was more excited about the killer bee shit.
it's not a 1950s big attack title.
Yeah.
John says Raro hasn't updated their site in a good while, too. So, yeah, that makes sense. What's going on, Spaghetti? How are you, Blake?
Hey, perfect. Just in time for the ultra Italian title. Spaghetti Gang.
Coming on February 21st from Better Noise Films, The Retaliators from 2021. This one, I almost didn't post this, but the names attached to this, I felt like I kind of had to. An upstanding pastor uncovers a dark and twisted underworld as he searches for answers surrounding his daughter's brutal murder. A high-octane original soundtrack and cameos from some of the biggest names in rock music set the tone as this horror thriller reveals a game of revenge played using a new set of rules. So this is like $14 on Amazon for pre-order right now, which is really rare that it would be something like that for that cheap. But the list for this is kind of crazy. So the people that they have attached to this, let me see if I can pull it up.
I was going to say the biggest rock bands. That could mean a lot of things.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got cast and crew. I think they had a list. We have Jacoby Shaddix, lead singer of Papa
Oh my
Roach.
God.
We have Ivan Moody, the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh boy. When you said it's not great, I wasn't expecting like literally the worst. I mean, I can't think of what. I mean, maybe like Screwdriver or something. Like they could go lower, but it's not great.
Tommy Lee is in this. Motley Crue,
No.
Tommy Lee.
I mean, that's a pretty big name, at least.
Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills.
All right, they're all right.
Eva Marie, who is the lead singer of Eva Under Fire.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either. Brian O'Halloran from Clerks.
Clerks.
And let's see, singer Corey Marks. I don't know what he is from. And then all
Corey
good things. Yeah, there's all kinds of people here. This is
Jacob E. Shadowix or whatever the hell that guy's name is. Does he do like a sermon in the middle of the film?
Oh God,
I know he likes to do that.
I kind of hope so now.
Yeah, that would be fun, honestly.
Anthony says this movie will be your last resort.
Hey, charging those kind of prices, they're like getting away with murder. Papa Roach puns all day around here.
Seether has to pop up in this.
Seether's honestly kind of good. I'm not gonna lie. They're definitely a butt rock band, though. That was all butt bands.
It really is. Moving on to actual cinematic fare. Coming on April 25th from Kino, we get I believe this is their first actual release of a Lionsgate film, Backtrack from 1990, and this has Dennis Hopper and Jodie Foster, Charlie Sheen, Fred Ward, Dean Stockwell, Bob Dylan, Joe Pesci, Vincent Price.
Damn, that's stacked.
Yes.
Dennis Hopper directed it looks like too.
Yes. I as soon as they announced this, I have been dying to see this. Jodie Foster, obviously around the early 90s, fantastic. Dennis Hopper, most of the time he's at least fun.
Yeah.
Much of the time.
He's there always.
Yes. And then Vincent Price.
Jodie Foster. I love Vincent Price so much, and shout out, we love our Sapphic queen, Jodie Foster.
Vincent Price, always overlooking the channel right there.
I have a Vincent Price poster back here, kind of. Let's see if you can see it a little better. There's my Witchfinder General one sheet from Argentina.
Very nice.
Yeah, I love that film a lot.
I can't reach it right now because it's about a foot too far away, but I have the Witchfinder General media book I could have pulled up.
Yeah, I saw that.
This looks fantastic. I can't wait. Radiance just absolutely keeps killing it. May 15th is when they are putting out She Dies Tomorrow. This is a 2020 film, and this is getting a whole lot of extras. So you got a making of featurette, new interviews with some of the actors from it. She Dies Tomorrow and the Viral Apocalypses of the Future, which is a visual essay on contagion in modern horror, which sounds fantastic. There's an audio commentary by critic and programmer Anna Bogutskaya. There is a booklet coming in this, and they got new writing on the film from Lillian Crawford and Isabel Millar, and this is only a UK release.
Do we know the year on this one?
2020.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't really know that they were going to be doing the modern stuff, but that's really cool.
I believe this is their newest one yet that they've announced, and it's supposed to be pretty great.
Yeah, Radiance is like what they're doing is so exactly right up my alley. I still haven't gotten my January pre-order because the UK is a complete shit show right now. But I don't know. There's something about their release schedule that is really confusing me. Like they have stuff announced like 3 months in advance, and then they'll announce stuff for like next week, and it's very confusing which ones are which in terms of region. I'm becoming a little overwhelmed, even though I thought I could maybe start from the beginning and be complete with it. But man, it's a lot.
The hard part with Radiance is they've done a bunch of different bundles, and they keep sort of changing the. They've had to delay a couple titles. They've announced some titles that didn't have release dates. So when you order one of these bundles, you don't know what you're getting yet. You just know the geography of where you're buying for and the time frame of what you're buying for. So it's interesting. We'll see. I did happen to get my January bundle in, and it came with those wonderful site exclusive cards that they had. I don't know how I got mine. No problem. I did not understand.
You must have just made it. I don't know.
Right at the last moment. But they did announce 2 new titles, and these both like Radiance killing it. Both of these sound amazing. So we are getting on May 15th in the UK, The Bride Wore Black from 1968. Jean Moreau stars as the titular bride who, after marrying her love, sees him murdered on the steps outside the church. From here, she enacts her ruthless revenge on the group of men responsible. Undoubtedly, an influence on Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, Francois Truffaut, who we just mentioned a minute ago. The Bride Wore Black was itself influenced by the director's idol, Alfred Hitchcock. Adapting celebrated crime writer Cornell Woolrich, who was also the author of that short story Hitchcock's Rear Window is based on, Truffaut's film is a deliciously entertaining tale that was one of the director's biggest hits. Alongside Moreau, the film boasts a sensational cast, including Michael Lonsdale, Jean-Claude Brialy, Charles Denner, and Michael Bouquet, among others. It features a score by the maestro Bernard Herrmann. That's a lot.
Sounds hard as fuck.
Yep. We got an archival interview with Truffaut from 1968 and 69. Oh, and Moreau's on there as well. Appreciation by Kent Jones. That was filmed this year. Barry Forshaw on Cornell Woolrich and the adaptation. And then there is a 21-minute short film that was written by Truffaut, which I don't think has been released in HD anywhere else. So if you're trying to be complete on Truffaut, that does help. There is a booklet on this as well with new writings on the film and limited to 3,000 copies. And here is the entire cover, which looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's so sick. Yeah, I love that they have the short film on there. I feel like a broken record always saying this, but like I really, really value when they include the really obscure short films that otherwise would just be forgotten about or lost to time or what have you. It's always a big selling point for me.
Nerd of the 80s, who's in the chat right now, we were talking on the phone today, and we were talking about that Three Colors trilogy that came out from Artificial Eye and Curzon in the UK. They have 12 short films on their release, and the Criterion release only has 3. So it might be a reason for people to look into that other Three Colors release.
Damn. It's so hard always with the different extras everywhere. It can be overwhelming.
It truly can. And on top of that, then we have other releases that are about to come out for this when we are all excited about this. Nicomedes wants to remind everybody The Bride Wore Black comes out next Tuesday. So if you are looking just for an easy, cheap Kino release and you want this film, there is the way to get it.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on... It's got some sick cover art there, too. I'm trying to find the special features to see if it's even close, but I'm going to guess not. By the way, people were like saying I was like shitting on Kino earlier. No, not at all. I'm a huge Kino fan. I love them so much. I was just skeptical of the quality of, Film Noir Volume 28 or whatever. So that was all. But you know what? I would love to be wrong. If all of those films are great, then I will eat crow and watch them as well.
Good call. Final film announced by Radiance this week, coming on May 15th, in the UK and the US from Radiance, is Yakuza Graveyard from 1976.
Such a hard title.
It really is. And with this cover, like, it fits very well. When he falls for the beautiful wife of the jailed boss of the Nishida gang, things start to spiral out of control for Detective Kuroiwa. In a world where the line between police and organized crime is vague, he finds himself on the wrong side of a Yakuza war when his superiors favor Nishida's rivals, the Yamashiro gang. Co-starring the iconic Miko Kaji herself from Lady Snowblood, and featuring Nagisa Oshima as chief of police, Yakuza Graveyard sees director Kinji Fukasaku, who did Battles Without Honor and Humanity, at the peak of his powers. Yes, this looks incredible. We have an appreciation by Kazuya Shirashi on this. The Rage and the Passion, a visual essay by Tom Mess on Miko Kaji and Kinji Fukasaku's collaborations. There is an Easter egg. Not sure what that's going to be, but interesting that they're doing that. And then a limited edition booklet featuring new writing on the film, including Mika Ko on the representations of Koreans in the Yakuza film. And this looks amazing.
Yeah. They all do. It's a problem.
Yakuza Graveyard is the one. Only low-rent DVDs until this release. Go region free. This one doesn't matter because it's coming to the US and UK, so you got a lot of options.
Yeah. I was going to say, for these ones that are region B only, is that like my hint that there might be a region A coming sometime from someone else? I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, like the Bride that we just looked at. It is possible. It's not a guarantee, but it would not surprise me. Oh, and for those wondering, Fran did confirm on Twitter for The Bride, and I'll pull that up just as a reminder. This is the exact same transfer that has come out on Twilight Time and Kino and all of that. It's not a brand new scan.
Yeah, I checked, by the way, and I think it's just an audio comment for the Kino, so not super close on that one.
That's true. All right. So next up, out of nowhere, Synapse announced a limited edition release with a limited slipcover for Invaluable, the true story of an epic artist from 2018. Synapse also included at the bottom of their announcement here, but this is a limited release. We're not saying we're going to put out a standard edition ever, but right now it's not in the plans. So in other words, it'll probably come out in like a year and a half. This is where the story of the Evil Dead begins. This is Sam Raimi's 1981 film, The Evil Dead, is a horror masterpiece that has terrified audiences, and the original film's iconic special effects and makeup were created by Tom Sullivan, a Michigan artist and sculptor, and Ryan Mead's invaluable The True Story of an Epic Artist is a feature-length documentary about the life and art of that Tom Sullivan. We got 4 hours of special features on here. There's a bonus documentary about the life of filmmaker Josh Becker, vintage Tom Sullivan in the Spotlight interview, an unedited interview with Tim Philo, cinematographer of The Evil Dead, some extended interviews and promotional items, and then Ryan Mead short films, Bong Fly and Cosmos Locos. Yeah, you can get this on Diabolic and Synapse right now.
Neat.
I've never seen this.
Me neither. I feel like there's a. Is it out yet? Like, have people do people already have seen this and have things to say about it?
Yes.
A lot of these like fan documentaries, there's definitely a large gradient in terms of the potential quality, but I hope it's a good one, and it looks like there's another documentary on there too. So
this did have a previous release, and if I remember right, this is one of the better releases of Evil Dead related things. The previous release of this documentary came with vials of sand from the original Evil Dead cabin.
Like from the set?
Yes.
What the hell? How did they get a hold of that?
Because the people involved in making it, they knew where it was and all that, and they just went and scooped some up.
Oh, so not like from the original shooting, like they found the place again. Okay, that's still really cool. But I was like, what the hell? Who was just keeping like vials of dirt around to distribute to people?
You know what we can do in 40 years?
Yeah, really. I know we made this film for like $10, but let's save the dirt,
KB's here. What's going on, KB?
What's up, KB?
The price. Is there a price for the Toxie?
I didn't see the price.
Anyways, let's talk about that. Troma casually announced through Lloyd Kaufman's stories on Instagram that they are putting out a 4K collection of the Toxic Avenger with all 4 of the films, and they had one of the Troma employees give us a lot of information on the Blu-ray.com forums. First of all, Vinegar Syndrome did the 4K transfers of all 4 films. There was a rumor earlier this week that Vinegar Syndrome was putting these out, and that's why the rumor started. So that happened, and then they did some additional restoration work to find as much of the complete footage as possible. The box set will only be distributed by Troma, not by Vinegar Syndrome or anyone else. The 4K versions will have HDR, and the person that was on the forums had no idea about the words Dolby Vision. So it's probably only going to be HDR10, especially because Vinegar Syndrome did it and they don't use Dolby Vision. So, yes, this will also have accompanying Blu-ray discs that are taken from those new transfers. And somebody asked if they will be the director's cuts, and they say, to the best of our efforts, yes. In cases where gore was missing, they've gone to great efforts to recover it. They can't guarantee it for sure, but they want to make sure that they can get as much as possible. Save for things that weren't meant to be included, like the Japanese cut of Toxie 1. The release will have unrated cuts only. The effort was concentrated on assembling the most complete versions available. Yeah. It's Troma. Yeah. Furthermore, they did give one more tease that the Toxic Crusaders animated show from 1991, somebody asked, it would be greatly appreciated if all 13 episodes of Toxic Crusaders were properly restored and released on at least Blu-ray. And the guy from Troma responded and said, interesting that you bring that up. And that's it. So we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall
Sounds like he was given the idea and they're working on it now. So are you a fan of these? I don't know. You seem a little bit not stoked about this.
I'm not stoked because I don't trust Troma necessarily yet. when it comes to Blu-ray releases, VCI and Full Moon get sort of laughed out of the room when you start talking about quality. And the sad thing is they both blow Troma's Blu-ray releases out of the water. So
Really?
yes, Troma's releases are not good. I
Well, and
do appreciate Vinegar Syndrome is helping.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So
What
that's a big part
what
of it.
about the releases do you feel is lacking?
They do not do well with compression. They take SD scans and basically put them on Blu-ray sometimes. They just do not go high quality hardly at all. They come in really
Yeah.
cheap cases. Obviously, that's just an afterthought. But yeah, the actual movies do not look great. So it's
So
worrisome.
yeah, so I saw Toxic Avenger back in the day and I really liked it. And I purchased the Blu-ray set of this, but I haven't touched it yet. I haven't watched any of it, which is obviously my fault. And now we're already up on an upgrade. But I was just curious. Like I was like, well, should I just wait at this point? Should I just get rid of it and do the 4Ks if they're any good? I mean, I don't know, but
I mean, the fact that Vinegar Syndrome is working on it, that is a good thing.
yeah, I think so too. But maybe I should watch these before buying them again.
Toxic Avenger, we watched as one of our Discord watch-alongs like 4 or 5 months ago. One of the most fun party movies to watch with a group of people. It was
that's out there.
Will is here. What's going on, Will? Just ordered Invaluable solely for the Josh Becker documentary. Nice. Stefano says, like I said on the Discord, fuck, do I have to buy another Troma release?
I will say, I rented their release of Honor Killing, and I think I've talked about that film before and how much I don't like it. But I mean, the disc looked okay. I mean, the quality inherent to the film, I think, was terrible. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I get it. Planet Mondo wants Toxic Crusaders as a bonus stage. So that'd be rad, but I don't think it's going to be on this release. It would be nice to come out for sure.
I'm surprised they're not doing these individually to stretch. I mean, this is like their thing, right? Like this is the title, and I would think you'd want to milk that,
And they probably still will eventually. They'll come out just for people to buy part one. It'll get some like lenticular cover or something. It'll be $35, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They always feel like Walmart budget disc movies from Troma. Yes, I get that. Anthony said that was a fun watch along. It really was. Full Moon has an amazing sale right now, and I just realized I forgot to post that today, and I was supposed to. So yes, we will talk about that in just a little bit. Damien says, not a Troma fan, but I thought the Toxic Avenger Blu-ray looked great. The first one does. The other ones are a lot worse. But the other stuff it's the Troma release stuff that is not Toxic Avenger that isn't going to sell well for them. They just don't put as much care into a lot of the time. So sadly, it sort of wanes in quality. Greetings to Trauma. I just realized it's already after 11 on the East Coast, so we should probably hurry up through these. In the US, we got an announcement from another Warner Brothers set that is another pile of crap, in my opinion. This is a 25 Blu-ray only collection. Blu-ray only.
This is really something.
And the titles in this: King Kong, The Maltese Falcon, Children of the Damned, 2001, A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, The Exorcist, All the President's Men, The Shining, Blade Runner Final Cut, Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a New Line title, Full Metal Jacket, Goodfellas, Natural Born Killers, The Shawshank Redemption, Interview with the Vampire, Seven, The Matrix, Green Mile, Inception, and then it gets weird. The Conjuring, Gravity, Her, Annabelle, It, Dune.
Again, I ask, for who? Like, who wants this? Like a giant Blu-ray set of films that you can get for like $5 each. I don't understand this at all.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
Especially when a lot of these are either already out on 4K or will be out on 4K soon.
Yeah. Weird stuff.
Yeah. I put out a video on Hammer Horror. Hope everybody watches it and enjoys it. And then I clicked away, of course. Let me go to the next one. Release details for Kino's The Big Bus. This is coming on April 25th with a new audio commentary by Howard Berger and Nathaniel Thompson. And yeah, I can't wait to see this one. This sounds and looks great. I've never seen this. Period. Next up, this one is super rad. Kino is putting out Lon Chaney's The Trap from 1922. This is a 4K restoration done by Universal themselves, and this gets By the Sun's Rays, a 1914 Western short feature with Lon Chaney, which is super cool. And then Lon Chaney Behind the Mask from 1996, 65 minutes long. That'll be on here as well. And this is supposed to be incredible. I've not seen the previous release. This had a decent DVD release, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, that's so sick that they're going back that far and doing like 4K restorations and putting them out in nice editions. I love, all right, back to praising Kino. I love that they take chances on these really old silent titles that I know don't have the biggest market appeal, but I just think it's really important, you know, for cinema history and everything. Yeah,
completely agree, especially Lon Chaney.
Yeah, for sure.
This one is interesting. I've never heard of Chelsea Rialto Studios, but they are putting out Frank Capra's Meet John Doe with Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck from 1941. This is a public domain film, but it's saying that it was an HD transfer of the OCN. So I'm not entirely sure here. I also don't know if it's a burn disc or a pressed disc, but it is it was like $21 to order from their site plus $4 shipping or something like that. So if you really want to be full on Stanwyck or Cooper or Capra, you might want in on this.
I mean, I'm definitely intrigued on the film itself, but yeah, it's weird. I have no idea who this is in terms of the studio.
It looks like they have done some musical scores before, and that's how they got a lot of their stuff going. So another Burt Reynolds title, Heat, is coming on April 25th. This is from 1986, and really cool. This has an audio commentary with Brandon Bentley and Mike Leader, both who do a lot of the Asian cinema commentaries. And they were asked by Kino to do this, and this was announced just this morning, and they recorded their commentary just this morning. So, yep.
Wait, who recorded the commentary this morning?
Mike Leader and Brandon Bentley. They recorded their commentary this morning, the day they announced it.
Oh my god.
He posted on his Facebook or Twitter that this is the first time I've had a title announced with me being on it the day that I recorded it.
Hell yeah. Is that a procrastination thing? Because I really relate to that.
It might be, but also a lot of these companies, they just release stuff by the skin of their teeth. They
I mean, especially Kino. They pump this shit out like nobody else.
Exactly. Kino does it a lot, but supposedly Eureka will put stuff out and they will have like they'll start the release with 3 months to go and they'll tell somebody, hey, our commentator dropped out. Can you record a commentary for this in the next 5 days? We need to send it to printing. It's out in 35 days. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, if they want me to just talk over a movie, you know, I could do that for them. It's fine. I won't look anything up, but, you know, I can just talk on it.
Just talking about Burt Reynolds. So his mustache in this scene is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Kino Lorber and Artsploitation, another one of their partner labels, is putting out Virtual Reality from 2021. This says a film director agrees to a dark pact to help his career take off. When he summons the cast and crew to his house for a first cut screening, they will have to survive a reality they never saw coming. It's an Argentinian film. Have not heard of this, but I'm glad they're putting it out.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in it.
I like the cover.
A bit of Argentinian cinema, but not like a ton. So I'm always down for more.
Second Run, which is a UK company that does not get enough love. They are putting out Twilight from 1990. And like Stan Geezy asked me on Facebook, apologies. No, this is not the sparkly vampire film.
No, that's a bummer.
This is based on The Pledge, Requiem for the Detective novel, which was also the basis for Sean Penn's 2001 film with Jack Nicholson. And I remember really liking that one. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what this is like. This came out in 1990, and a seasoned detective investigates a series of child murders, succumbing to an all-consuming and tragic obsession with the case, finding empty solace in his quest for vengeance. I hope Eric is still there. Is this a part of the book? Because I don't know if any of them happen on screen. I'd be curious to see. This got a new 4K restoration. Expert. Yeah, she's got to know. We got a 4K restoration of this, a series of newly filmed appreciations by contemporary filmmakers on the influence and importance of the movie Twilight. There's a booklet in here, and as usual, most second-run releases are all region-free, and this continues to be region-free.
Right on.
Pretty damn cool.
I love this cover art. Looks like a gothic metal album, like Draconian or something like that.
Really does. It looks great. Okay. The ones that ended up the day today, which are huge. So Umbrella in April is playing hard. Weird from 2022 is getting a 4K release in Australia, and I never expected this to get a physical release, let alone a 4K super collector's edition. Here's the cover of this, and if you get this from them, they have Get Weird exclusive 100% rayon custom patterned Hawaiian shirts that you can only get on the Umbrella web store. The Story of Weird, a 48-page perfect bound book, 8 art cards, a slipcase, limited edition numbered release, an introduction by Weird Al, and a behind the scenes and a trailer. I am dying to see this. Anthony says, paging Jeremy Long. The moment I announced this on everything, I texted Jeremy first. So, yes. You know what? I'm gonna show Jeremy's true colors. I'm gonna show the exact moment I text him. Let's see. Here is my text with "What the fuck? God bless you." Didn't even have to think twice. And then I might have to get Repo Man and Winnie the Pooh as well. So thank you, Jeremy Long. This looks great. Are you a Weird Al person at all?
Not really. I mean, sure. I used to like him a lot when I was a kid. I don't know. It's just not. I like the UHF film a lot. I saw that semi recently, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Is this Region B? Region something?
It's in Australia, so technically it should be Region B, but it's region free 4K, obviously. And most of Umbrella stuff is region free anyways so far.
Yeah, I was just curious because I didn't think there was a chance that Roku would let a domestic release of this happen. So that makes sense that Australia got away with it.
I mean, they still might. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Roku might just really be wanting that money, and it could have just been a Roku exclusive for 6 months. I think that would give us a March or April release.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
What's going on, Master Chaos? Good to see you tonight. But Umbrella didn't stop there. They're putting out Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and this looks like a crazy release. We got Ruined Childhood's custom written and illustrated Winnie the Pooh, Honey is Thicker Than Blood, 16-page kids book. Custom art slipcase, 8 art cards, reversible poster, and it's a numbered release. There's also a commentary with the director, some deleted scenes and bloopers. I'm honestly surprised they got this too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be good.
Blood and Honey hits theaters next week here.
Right on.
LOL. Yes, Martin Scorsese. Maybe that was the wrong one. I'll just take that down. Thanks, Eric. Next up, this one is a big deal. If Sean is still in the chat, he was very happy about this. A Bittersweet Life from 2005 is coming out. He felt he made the right choice, but the world had already become his enemy. From acclaimed Korean director Kim Ji-woon, who did A Tale of Two Sisters and I Saw the Devil, both amazing movies, comes the neo-noir classic A Bittersweet Life. Sun-woo is not just the manager of an elegant upscale restaurant in Seoul, he's also the trusted and loyal right-hand man for underworld figure Kang. When Kang suspects his young girlfriend Hisu of being unfaithful, he orders Sunwoo to take care of the problem. When Sunwoo discovers Hisu with her lover, instead of killing her as ordered, he grants them mercy and lets them go. Now, Sunwoo is being hunted down by those he once considered brothers and must battle his way through his own gang on a path to a final confrontation with Kang, which sounds amazing.
All right, yeah, that sounds tight.
Eric is here live. What's going on, Eric? The funny thing is my son just asked about this today, if Weird is out yet, because he's a giant Weird Al fan, and we watched it together and loved it. Very nice. You got it for him.
That's so sweet. I love that. That comment made me smile. I like that.
Good. This has a custom art slipcase, a collection of interviews, experiences, and art in a 48-page book, 8 art cards, a reversible poster, and it's numbered, which Umbrella is stepping up the numbered releases game, which they've not done much of previously. We got some multiple audio commentaries. We have 3 of them on this, and then a whole bunch of featurettes. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that doing the number thing is a really easy way to get a lot more sales from to exploit those of us with broken brains.
And the hard part is with Umbrella, like the Terrifier release that they just did recently, they didn't announce how limited it was. They just said it will be available to pre-order until now, whenever this date was going to be. And then that's the limited number. So it was a timed limited edition, which is very interesting.
Yes.
For them.
Also, yes, everyone drop a like. I have it on good authority that those who click the like button are all very cool and sexy. So, you should get on that. Yes, we should get Ryan to 2,000 subscribers. Like stat. Like, come on, what's going on there?
I don't know what happened. I dropped a link in a thread on Reddit, and over the last 24 hours, I've gotten 70 new subs.
Hell yeah.
If I ordered from Umbrella, is there a way to add to existing order? I don't think so. Although if you email them, they might be nice about it. I'm not telling everybody to email them, but they might. Nicomedes says, broken brain right here. Just ask Indicator.
Broken brain gang.
That is perfect.
I don't necessarily collect numbered spines, but yeah, it's rough.
This one, I just fairly recently got the old limited edition Blu-ray release of this that came with a strip of the film. So I'm still stoked to see this. They are putting out The Tunnel from 2011, and this is supposedly one of the best found footage films, and I've just been waiting for the right time to watch it. This is, it says for the first time in 1080p full HD. It's not. The filmmaker released this previously on Blu-ray. As well as The Tunnel includes the full feature-length behind-the-scenes documentary, The Tunnel, The Other Side of Darkness. Comes with a slipcase and a book and evidence art cards and a reversible poster and another limited edition numbered release. How do you feel about fan footage?
I'm a fan of it, honestly. I am. Obviously it comes with the territory of necessarily being very low budget most of the time. So you get a lot of people that take advantage of that and just put out a piece of shit for $10 or whatever. But I think that when it's done properly, it's a very effective conceit and it can really help in the immersion of the horror. And yeah, I don't know. Found footage is kind of how I got into horror when I was, younger. So I kind of have a soft spot for it. But yeah, I'm into it.
I agree completely. Our last announcement of the week is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1989. However, I will zoom in and highlight, this is the Stink-O-Vision version, a scratch and sniff cinema experience.
The real Odorama John Waters.
Yes.
Here.
And not to mention, the first sentence really makes me not want to smell any of this. Immerse yourself in the sewers of New York City with an interactive and sensational viewing experience based on the wildly successful comic book series by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. The special edition release follows the Turtles on their origin adventure, accompanied with a menu of dank and delicious bespoke scents from scented storytelling to enhance the film's stinkiest moments.
Is there at least one of pizza or something?
Yes. If we zoom in here.
Just get
There
one
is,
dub in there.
yes.
I don't know what most of that is. I see weed. I see a slime.
I think this is toothpaste.
Sure.
And then a campfire dinner something, and then literally a sewer and bubble gum.
Okay. So, fun
Yes.
fact about me, I was born without a sense of smell. So,
Whoa.
yeah, I can taste things, but I can't smell. So, I couldn't take advantage of the Odorama card in the polyester release, which really bummed me out, honestly. And this is one that will be entirely useless to me as well, other than just a novelty. So,
Damn.
it's okay
That
though.
is interesting. Super
Yeah.
interesting.
I finally went to the doctor about it, and he was just like, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is.
Ouch. So
Yeah.
this is coming with a free reversible A3 poster if you pre-order through their site. And they've got the original feature film with pop-up scratch and sniff icons, the original feature film, just the standard version with no icons, and then a making of and a trailer, and lots of people, lots and lots and lots of people are super excited about this. I don't know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Stan says, I've still got my polyester Smell-O-Vision card. I went to the
Me too.
polyester Smell-O-Vision at the New Bev in person in June last year. That was an
Man, that's
interesting
so
time.
sick.
John was born without hearing in his left ear.
That's interesting. Yeah, I could taste food. I imagine it tastes different to me than it does everyone else, but I have literally no point of comparison for it, so it just tastes how it always tasted to me. So, but it is strange how I can still taste. I don't know.
Yeah, very
Bizarre.
interesting. Since all this took a lot of time tonight, we're going to dive real quickly through what's coming out next week and then talk about documentaries for like 15 minutes. And then we're going to go into Vinegar Syndrome. So next Tuesday, we are getting The Fablemans on 4K, Romeo and Juliet from Criterion, supposedly still. Decision to Leave is
Yeah.
coming from Mubi in the US. Disney's Strange World, which all 12 people that saw said it wasn't great. Iron
Uh-oh.
Monkey is coming from Shout Factory. The Truffaut collection is coming from Kino. The Bride Wore Black is getting that single release from Kino. Sci-fi and thrillers from the Vault is getting released from Mill Creek.
Hey Ryan, real quick. I gotta have a hot girl moment and use the bathroom real quick, so I'll
Yeah,
be right
you're
back
good.
if that's cool.
You are absolutely good, Chester. I was born without common sense. That's wonderful. That's good. We'll dive through the rest of these. Santo coming from Indicator. Finally, Dark Glasses coming from RLJE. That's the Argento flick from last year. The story of Adele H continuing the Truffaut takeover. Zoo Warriors from the Magic Mountain coming from Shout Factory. Jet Li's Legend double feature coming from Ronin Flicks. Just Another Girl on the IRT coming from Paramount Presents. Mississippi Mermaid coming from Kino. So many titles here. We are getting Project Wolf Hunting is coming from Wilgo. Love on the Ground from Cohen Media. The White Jalo Box coming from Arrow Video next week. And Raro Video, Let's Hope It's a Girl is coming next week. And I think that's it for like the big titles, unless you really want the brand new House Party on Blu-ray like Foo for Thought loved. Obviously kidding. He hated that movie. Wave says Just Another Girl is a good one. Absolutely. Stan liked Strange World. Nice. That is the first time I've heard somebody say a good thing about it. Twisted Nerve is coming out in April from Umbrella 2. Was there something not listed? Let me take a look at that. Twisted. Oh, this one. Yes, this was already announced. It got delayed, I believe. This was announced like a month or two ago there, Christopher. I think that, yes, Christopher's the one that said it. Yeah, Twisted Nerve is coming for sure. April is a big month for them. Yes, they did make a new House Party, and it's supposed to be awful, awful, awful. Yes, Griff, it was in my email, and I forgot to post it. Thanks, Griff. Full Moon is having their sale. Let me pull it up right now, and I will share the exact details. Thank you, Griff. I definitely would have forgot for the second time. Here it is, Full Moon's awesome Valentine's Day sale. It is already ongoing, 50% off of everything. Although, as you'll see quickly, it's not quite everything. You get a free mask with every purchase and a mystery gift with a $100 purchase. The 4Ks that they've put out so far are not as a part of the sale. So it is, unfortunately, left out. So you cannot get quite everything. But yeah, this is the best time to buy Full Moon stuff. Their sales are fairly priced. And even though I don't love the Full Moon discs, I still love a lot of the films that they put out, unfortunately. Will is saying the best thing about the Full Moon sale is half off of Delirium magazine. Gonna pick up a few soundtrack CDs. Nice. I forgot that they had soundtrack CDs. Man, I don't even. Yeah, let's see. Music. There we go. What do they have? Bad Channels soundtrack, Full Moon Archive music collection, soundtrack CD set, Tourist Trap. Nice. They had way more than I thought in here. That's a good call, Will. And I mean, some of these $4 for a CD. That's pretty great. I mean, that's really good for some of them if you really want the Laser Blast soundtrack. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Subspecies soundtrack. Man, yeah, that's not a terrible deal. I kind of want that Tourist Trap CD. So that is what is going on at Full Moon. Check out that sale. And hey, we're back.
All right, we're back. The
So
only thing I have to say about that upcoming thing, is Just Another Girl in the IRT is an amazing film. And if anybody didn't previously have that on their radar, I highly recommend looking into it. It's coming out at a very reasonable price. It's an important film, and it's also just really good. So,
and
yes.
Very, very underseen. Very well made, very underseen.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try to hit documentaries in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So what about documentaries is something that makes you excited?
Documentary filmmaking, I think, is so unique in that it is an entirely different kind of beast from narrative filmmaking. But I think what some people miss out on is that there is still absolutely a narrative being crafted with documentaries, and like they're pretty much never wholly objective. Like there's still a perspective and an opinion being put forward, and you know, there's definitely a way to do it well. Like a good documentary still makes you feel similarly to the way that a good narrative film does. Whether that's teaching you something through catharsis or through visual images. I feel like they're very different, but they're also so similar. Like sometimes I want to classify them as different things. Like I have a hard time putting documentaries in like my personal top 100 list.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they feel so similar, and that when I think about my favorite films of all time, the ones we're going to talk about would be included in that. So I don't know, and I guess I think that they're kind of undervalued. Like people don't really think of them as something that is created with craft, as opposed to like you just kind of think about like I don't know, like a PBS special or something, as opposed to like a really artfully made statement. Yeah, and I guess it doesn't come up as much on my channel because they're not really trendy things to talk about or whatever, and I feel like they don't get the same physical releases that others do. Like the ones we're going to talk about, a lot of them don't have any releases, and if they do, they're very bare bones. Like you'll get a DVD and that's it, and it's like I don't know, they're kind of treated as like a separate category or like a lesser art form, and I really love documentaries and I really want to champion them, at least the ones that are really done well. So yeah, that was just kind of the first thing that I thought of. I thought it would be a fun time.
I don't remember what it was talking about. It might have been like those true crime series that are super popular on Netflix or something. But I was talking to somebody recently about them, and they lamented that one of the reasons they don't love documentaries is because they're not rewatchable at all. How do you feel about that? Because I
don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it at all.
One that we're going to get to, that my number one, I could watch any day, anytime. Again, like a good film is a good film. You know, like a good documentary is you're going to see new things upon rewatch, and you're going to experience that same uh, those same emotions the
Right.
second time as well. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of like saying to me like you won't like any film the second time because now you know how it ends. It's like, well, that's just one piece of what makes up a film and what makes a good experience with a film, you know?
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. There a lot of these actually. They're ones that I've either I've watched and I've gotten a lot more out of the more that I've watched it, or there's something that knowing the context for what comes from the documentary, it makes you appreciate the rest of the story leading up to it all that much more watching it the second time because you know a lot of what is being resolved. So yeah, I think almost it just adds to it, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Thank you, Christopher, by the way. I appreciate the compliment there.
Stan just watched Fire of Love. I'm dying to see that. That was probably not a good word choice there. Yes, I would love to see it. Let's see. Eric wanted to throw out 42nd Street Memories, and yeah, that's a decent one. Stan also threw out Harlan County, USA, and
That's a great
Finding
film.
Vivian Myers, one of my favorite documentaries from D. Sibner. Salesman, 1966 doc about door-to-door Bible salesman. Interesting.
That sounds really interesting. I'd
Yeah.
love to see that.
Thanks, Nicomedes. I'm gonna look that up.
And you
Well,
know what?
go ahead.
One other point I want to make about documentaries, like that Canadian International Pictures thing I just bought, the wrestling one. I don't know the first thing about wrestling. I've never been a wrestling person. I'm not a fan of wrestling, but a good documentary can make me care and could teach me something about something that I had never known anything about previously, you
Yep.
know? And I've heard that that's exactly what this is. So I'm really excited about it.
It is super engaging. I was not a wrestling person either, and after watching it last Monday, I was very happy with it.
Nice.
Very happy. You want to go with your number 5?
Yeah, let's do that. So my number 5, let me get it pulled up so I don't get anybody's name wrong, is this is a real deep cut, I think. It only has 343 views on Letterboxd at the moment. It's directed by Lee Grant. It's one of the shorter documentaries that she did for HBO back in the day. It's from 1989 and it's called Battered. Um, she's more known for her film Down and Out in America, which is a great film as well. But this was the one that I found to be the most powerful. Um, it's a rough one, like honestly. This was in a bundle of her films on the Criterion Channel, and it's about women who have experienced domestic abuse and really severe battering, and it goes into just how badly the institutions have failed these people and just how much benefit of the doubt society gives to men to a quite literally lethal fault.
Right.
And how, especially, I mean, back in the 80s, but I don't know how different it is now, honestly. Like, we just don't treat spousal abuse as like a serious thing. Like,
Not at
there's
all.
so much, like, I mean, I know that, like, growing up Catholic, like, to be divorced is like a mortal sin, and like you just kind of have to put up with it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, that idea is so entwined that so many people are like pressured to stay, or so many people won't take that seriously. So that's a really heartbreaking aspect of the film. Obviously, is just listening to these women's experiences and listening to how they aren't listened to, and how the institutions and the police especially have failed them. Uh, but what I thought was maybe the most interesting, and you know, I have to be careful about how I talk about this, but like there's a whole section of the film where she actually goes into the prisons and interviews the men that are the aggressors in these situations or in other situations. And it is so fascinating to hear their point of view of it. Like I mean, I always find this really interesting. Like if you're a person who has done something that heinous, how you think about yourself after that, how you think
Right.
about where you've ended up, and just watching her interview these people like in a very, and obviously we should judge these people, but in these interviews she does it very non-judgmentally. She's just very blunt and very straightforward, but it's not like she rolls up there and she's like, all right, tell me why you're a piece of shit. It's like, I want to understand what led you to this and what made you think this way. And some
Right.
of the men are just like, it's obvious why they did this, because they just don't care. And they're like fucking monsters, and like these other people, they actually have some reflection, and they're like, I just was brought up straight up because I didn't think, like, I was brought up not to think that women are people, and I treated my wife as my property because that's what I believed. um, I don't know, I've been very interested recently in the idea of what it is we're supposed to do with quote unquote bad people or people who have done bad things. um, it's a subject that I feel like people don't want to explore because we don't want to be providing sympathy for someone who's done something really heinous. Um, but I really am not. I know I just said this earlier, so I'm contradicting myself. But I really am not a believer in like evil people. I'm more so a believer of like biology and circumstance. I don't
Hmm.
like to assign morality to a person's core being. Um, and so, yeah, just the whole idea of restorative justice and um, the societal factors that lead people to be where they are. I'm talking a lot about a 58-minute film right now, but there was just so much in it that I think is worth discussing, and it was such a powerful experience. I'm looking, and you can rent it on Amazon Video, but if you can find it, it's a short watch. It's made for TV, it's made for HBO, so it's not like super amazing filmmaking wise,
Right.
but it's really great. I also just want to recommend really anything that she's done. Like they also had a film that she did called "What Sex Am I," which is actually a very early documentary on trans people. Um, and you think it's going to be really whack, especially with the poster and everything, but it's actually just a very thoughtful and compassionate look at uh, the transgender community in the 1980s. And I was really actually very pleasantly surprised with it. So, yeah, big fan of her.
Um, yeah, I wish we could spend like 30 more minutes talking about this because,
Yeah, I know we're short for time, and I just dumped all that at once, and I
well,
apologize.
a lot of that, funny enough, is stuff that was very existential and came up for this channel last year behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't know about it. Some people in the Discord do because we discussed it a little bit. I had an interview that I'd done with somebody that, uh, after doing some reflection and talking with other people, I decided not to publish. And it led to this like 3 day long discussion with my wife about what do we what do we impose on people as punishment for something that they've done, because it doesn't mean that people deserve to be like isolated in the middle of nowhere for the rest
Yeah,
of their life. They still deserve to be treated with humanity. And it's a really interesting discussion, and one that, yes, super personal and very difficult to really come to any sort of conclusion on.
yeah. I could keep going, but we probably don't have the time to do this subject justice.
No, we have like 3 minutes for each film now. I'm gonna
All right.
go with one that was suit. No, don't apologize. I totally forgot. We need to be closer
No,
to
you're
time.
fine.
Really close one for me is the story of the West Memphis Three. So the documentary from 2012
Mhm.
calls West of Memphis is certainly on my list. I have felt so close to the story of the West Memphis Three, and for those that don't know, it's a story about three uh, kids. I guess we'll say their ages. They were very young, but because
Like
they
teenagers,
were,
right?
I not even that. Like one of them was like 10 or
Mhm.
11, and then it
Wow.
ranged up to like 15 or 16. They were in the area of a body that was found, and because they had like Stephen King books and heavy metal music in their backpack,
Mhm.
they were found guilty and imprisoned. And uh, like one of them was special needs. There's so much that came with this
Yeah.
that is just infuriating. One of my favorite bands of all time, Zayo, did a song called "Free the Three." A whole bunch of bands have done songs about the West Memphis Three, and I I really like the way that this one has been tonally, because a lot of the films surrounding the West Memphis Three, and there's been a few, not a ton, but I appreciate this one. I think it's really well made, and I would go into more detail, but we can't at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't
Nope.
know about that. I need to check that out for sure. When you said one of my favorite bands did a song about it, the one that came to mind was the one Disturbed did, and I was like,
Yep.
I know Zayo fucking rips. That band is so sick.
I've been on stage with Zayo before as they played
Nice,
an entire set.
nice.
And I wanted to point out, Stefano says, "Love this episode. Celeste is my favorite guest."
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
and Celeste dropping a deep review right before we all spend our paychecks on half-price porn.
Look, there are two wolves inside me. Okay.
What is your number 4? Quickly.
Yeah. Number 4 is Hexen. The I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. The
Yeah.
fucking God, who directed it? Benjamin Christensen. It's the Criterion release that the 1920s film on witchcraft. I almost didn't include it because it's like kind of a documentary. Like there's a lot of staged horror sequences, but it is, genuinely exploring a time in history with such thoughtfulness and such beauty. Man, for all my goth gang out there, fucking gothic horror crew, like this is our shit right here. The images in this are insane. But it's also like really thoughtfully exploring sort of witchcraft and witch hunts and that sort of mentality of like religious oppression and everything like that. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I've actually reviewed it on my channel in an older video, so I have more thoughts on it.
I've not gone that far back in the catalog. I need to. Next one, most people that have they were in like the early stages of Netflix streaming have already seen this, so I will just say a couple sentences. I don't know why, but I loved Hero Dreams of Sushi. The dedication to craft in that movie, it is beautiful and inspiring, and just something that is so easy to get lost in finding yourself some sort of passion that you can dive into with that sort of dedication. And yeah, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, it's so good. It's great.
Number 3.
All right. Number 3 is Jesus Camp, directed by Heidi Ewing and Rachel Grady. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, this film. There's no way I could talk about this concisely with how personal it is to me, but let's just say that watching this film, the first time I saw it, it was scary because it was like, wow, this is what could happen. And watching it now is like, oh, this is what did happen. And they told us explicitly over and over again what they wanted and their strategies for getting there, and we still let it happen. So that was sobering and terrifying to rewatch. But the images and the sequences in that will stay with you. I will just say as a closing comment that this is not as fringe as you think. I would wager that at least 30% of the country is on board with this kind of thing. It's insane. So yeah, some light traumatic fare for all of us here. Jesus Camp.
If you want a short primer on mine and Celeste's feelings on stuff like this, watch Celeste's discussion with me from last month as we talk about religious trauma and how we process that through film. Yes. My last 3 are actually all on boutique Blue releases, and I'm going to try to go as quick as possible because a couple of these are way more personal than I expected. So my number 3, I don't know why, The Killing of America from Severin. This documentary hurts, period. The fact that there is so much of this that is still so relevant today, and how much we are in a society built around violence and still just crushed by guns, and the fact that my kids have done more lockout training situations than I ever dreamed of them to try to do is terrifying. And yes, our media is so infiltrated with a lot of this, and this is from 42 years ago that they released this, and now we're inundated with in one day we all got to see the released video of Paul Pelosi getting his face smashed in with a hammer, and a black man in Memphis getting literally murdered by 4 police officers. It is a terrifying world, and the violence that we see every single day is hard, but the fact that you can watch this and realize in 42 years that we've done literally nothing about it is depressing as hell.
I never heard about that before. I need to check that out, or maybe I shouldn't. I'm so upset about all of the things you just mentioned. It's hard for me to watch that stuff. we don't need to get into my thoughts on guns, but it gets me in trouble with fellow leftists because I hate them so much. But yeah.
I understand. What's your number two?
My number two is something that I watched actually semi recently, and it shocked me how much it blew me away. This film is not yet rated, by the way. That was on my honorable mentions list. That thing is
It is
incredible.
very good.
But my number two pick is Waltz with Bashir, directed by Ari Folman. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think so. I was looking at this earlier. I don't think I have.
So, oh boy, this is a animated documentary film that's also autobiographical about the director's experience as an Israeli person and his reckoning with the absolute war crimes that country has committed, specifically in the massacre in Beirut. The way that he approaches this, and the way that the animation is done, it's just one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. And I saw a lot of people giving it heat because it was like, oh, the oppressor just making excuses and like doing a woe is me about how he feels guilty about oppressing people. I don't think that that's true at all. Like, I think that this is an honest and a deeply affecting, like, rumination and meditation on how to move forward when you know that you have caused such great harm. Which kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, except this is like from the perspective of someone grappling with that guilt. And it is just such a powerful accomplishment. He kind of goes through and shows himself like interviewing the people that were involved and the people that he was in the army with. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I can't do it justice. You just need to see it. It's so good.
Interesting. Yeah, I like I said, I read this on a list earlier because there's so many documentaries. It's hard to just keep track of them in your head. So I was trying to make sure I was capturing all the ones I wanted to, and I came across this, and it sounded familiar, but I'm not sure. Number two, I think just objectively might be one of the best made documentaries ever. So I had to include it, and that is a film that got a Criterion release, Hoop Dreams. I'm not even like truly a sports person anymore. I used to be when I was younger, but the way Hoop Dreams is crafted and shows the disparity of class and how poverty can affect people and how kids outside of Chicago are, built in the era of Michael Jordan to worship basketball, and seeing two kids progress in a way that you can't help but root for them. And so many just depressing things happen because they're real people and they don't come from a home that is infiltrated with just tons of money. They have to face real life problems, and unfortunately it doesn't lead down a lot of the paths that you'd rather it lead down. So it's a very real movie. It's got a lot going for it, and the story that it crafts is compelling, and it's important because it's a long one. So without that compelling story, you'd want to check out probably 4 or 5 times. Yeah, Hoop Dreams is genuinely like one of the best documentaries made from a storytelling standpoint.
That's what I've heard, and I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen it yet, but it's definitely been on the list for quite some time.
I get it. I'm not a sports
One
person either.
of those
I don't know why
things.
I love it.
No, I honestly, I love sports films because I don't like sports either, but
Yep.
a good film can make me get it and can kind of show me a world that I don't know anything about. So I actually am a fan of sports films, and especially documentaries. So yeah, it's definitely something I want to check out.
Well, we've got like 3 minutes. What's your number one?
My number one, KB mentioned it earlier, so I didn't say anything, but my number one is Werner Herzog's Grizzly Man. I mean, it's my number one, so you can guess how much I love this, but it is something that stays with me always. Oh no! I wanted to screenshot it. I didn't realize that many people would subscribe. Stop liking me, people. Damn it. All right. It's fine. That's cool, though. I didn't realize that I hit that. Nice. Anyway.
Hey, congrats.
I'm all flustered now. Okay. Fuck. Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man.
It feels like it's a part of my person at this point, how much I've thought about and can relate to elements of this film. Okay, so one of my very earliest in-depth analysis videos is on this film because I listened to a podcast about it and I just couldn't stop thinking about it again because I had seen it and I was like, I'm pretty sure that that film is perfect and I love it so
Yeah.
much. But then when I listened to the podcast, I was like, I just have to watch it again. And I watched it again and I couldn't stop thinking about it for like the rest of the night and the rest of the day. And I was like, I just have to write a script about this. Um, so that video is up there. I think it is my least popular video on my whole channel, but like I think the analysis is good. The video itself is not as good because it's one of my earliest attempts, but I think it holds up okay. So if you really want to know my full thoughts for like 16 minutes or whatever on Grizzly Man and how much I love it, that video is out there. But yeah, it's really special.
It's a good one. It's one that if you have not seen it, you probably should look into Grizzly Man. It's been a long time. I need to rewatch this one. Um, my number one, I'm only going to say is number one because right now it's the one that I keep going back to as uh, just infiltrating my thoughts over the last year or so, and that is
Mhm.
Dick Johnson is Dead from
Oh my god,
2020. Uh,
it's good.
it is such a delightful existential crisis, and um, yeah, this one's hard to explain because it is
It
a
is.
woman. It's a woman filmmaker that is coming to grips with the fact that her father is literally in the process of dying, and as you're watching this whole film, you become connected to this person, and you're just counting down the moments till the end of it until he is no longer passed or has passed away. But the story takes you multiple places, and there might be some twists and turns there. The way he acts out multiple ways to die is amazing. Um, yes, I love this movie, and it is such like a happy way to deal with the idea of death, and it's infectious in that it's very difficult to watch this and not feel like supreme bliss and yet immense sadness all at the same time. Um, yeah, love it. I see Will commented American movie just barely didn't make my list. Like one of the best movies of all time. Uh,
So good.
Absolutely would have made my list. If like any other night of this week, it probably would have. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's not in those five for tonight. And I think a lot more people know about American movies. So some of these I wanted to make sure that people had heard or discussed because American movie has gotten some of that over the last 6 months or so.
Do we have time for me to rapid fire throw out a couple of honorable mentions?
Please, yes.
All right. This one just barely made it. I decided to go for Battered instead, but Spellbound is a documentary about a very high stakes spelling bee that these children are competing in. It is the most delightful thing, among the most delightful things I've ever seen. I love it so much. Uh, yeah, just go seek it out. Won't You Be My Neighbor is really great. That one was really moving. Blackfish is really powerful and really important. This film is not yet rated. Really opened my eyes to a lot of things when I saw it when I was younger. I mean, that was just kind of like a mind blowing thing to see. My Winnipeg, I watched recently. I don't even know if that counts, but it's a really amazing film. Somebody brought up Persepolis. I agree that it is like a great double feature with Waltz with Bashir, and I thought it was a documentary, but when I pulled up documentaries on my letterbox, it didn't show up. So I just didn't count it for that reason. But Persepolis is one of the best films ever made and just so powerful and important as well. Man with a Movie Camera is really great. Tickled is fucking wild. Pumping Iron is extremely entertaining, and I
It
love it.
really is.
Um, and Dick Johnson is Dead was going to be one of my highlights as well.
Nice.
That's something else.
It really is. And I wanted to say, Anthony says spoilers for that documentary. You have to check it out. You'll see. They're actually
I don't think you can spoil it. Actually, yeah, don't worry about that.
yeah, you're gonna love it. Yes, I really wish we should have documented more time for these documentaries.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is a great topic.
Thank you, Ashby Alice. By the way, that's very sweet of you to say.
We will have to talk about these some more at some point, I think, because
Mhm.
documentaries are important, and even something like we talked about earlier, the little no name Amarillo, Texas documentary that we discussed earlier, it can mean a lot to a lot of people, and
Mhm.
I mean, we can just throw out titles for days. Scream Queen, one of my favorites from the last few years.
Oh
There's
shit! I meant to mention that one. That one is so good. It's yeah. That was also a undercard pick. It's just fucking amazing. Like people go watch Scream Queen and go buy that disc.
Yes, it's a wonderful disc. Okay, so porn. uh,
Porn.
Vinegar Syndrome. So let me zoom in here so everybody can see what we've got going on tonight in just what's the countdown? Just under 5 minutes. We've got
Mm.
50% off of 150 plus classic erotica titles, 2 new Peakorama releases, a Vinegar Syndrome exploitation classic upgraded to 4K, shirts, catalog slipcovers, and other exciting merch. First off, we were talking about this in the Discord earlier. What is your feeling on some of these old school classic erotica titles?
Yeah. So I am a person who will defend them, and I am a fan of them. And depending on the title, I will defend them like as art and as legitimate films and as legitimate, sort of artistic expression. Um, I think people probably think of this stuff as more so like, I don't know, the tube site kind of stuff that's out now, which is like completely different. But these are like legitimate films that were put out in theaters and shot on film
There
and
we go.
everything like that, you know?
Yes.
And a lot of them, like, you know, sometimes it's clear that the story is just window dressing for, you know, the naughty bits, but sometimes you get a legitimately fascinating premise that is explored, um, and more taboo subject matters that are explored because, like, all bets are off at that point anyway. So, uh, yeah, I think a lot of people like uh, Roberta Finley, is that her name?
Yep.
She did a lot of hardcore titles back in the day because like you find it's sort of like exploitation at large too, where you kind of find a lot of marginalized people working in those spaces because they've been boxed out of the mainstream. Um, I don't know. I'm just always going to be a champion for like weirdo art and like fucking degenerate art, So I'm a fan of it. I'm not as into it as maybe I should be to be the guest panelist on this, but I have a couple titles and I've seen a few of them. The most recent ones I watched were the Lost Films of Herschel Gordon Lewis, and those are fucking garbage, but they are there, and I will maybe defend the first two, maybe not the third one, but yeah.
So I mean, even you say you're not the best guest. I'm not the best host for this necessarily. I've watched some of them. I've not watched a ton of them. I do want to caution. There's a lot of people that will genuinely shame others that are into these
Yeah.
films just because they are adult titles, and that makes no sense. Especially not that these are better and we need to look down on people for tube sites or anything, but for these, a lot of them are very story based and they're rooted in actual art. So to put them down as just erotic wank films, it's not even like that. Like a lot of these are not,
Yeah.
a lot of them are not even like very erotic at all.
Yeah,
Um,
some of them are like actively not erotic, but also like just to be clear, I'm not out here shitting on tube sites. Like, I'm a fan of that when the time comes, but it's not filmmaking, I guess is what I'm saying.
right.
Like they're
I
not
wasn't, I wasn't talking
films
about
that
you.
should have a letterbox entry.
There is a lot of people this week leading up to the adult film sale that are shitting on people just for wanting to watch adult titles. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it's a lot to open that box, especially when it comes to censorship and making sure people are ethically paid and handled in a lot of these things that you're watching and all that other good stuff. Vinegar Syndrome. They have a wide swath of types of titles that you can buy that are listed under classic erotica. Everything from the weirdness of corruption to stiff competition, the blowjob contest movie. Yeah, they've got a lot of interesting titles and at least a handful that I can recommend. But at the same time, these tend to be very much more like individually. They're less they're less simple to recommend to a big group of people than most
Sure.
films. So yeah.
Just real quick, let's see if I can do it in 30 minutes. Sorry. I wanted to highlight Ashby's comment and Anthony's comment because I totally agree with both of them. Ashby, I mean, you're
Yes.
just right. I don't really have much to add to that. You're just straight up right. And then Anthony, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's something that I meant to say. I am really a firm believer that it is only because of our hyper religious puritanical society that sex is like its own thing. And if you just show sex in a movie, suddenly it has to be in a separate category. Like we don't have that for anything else, even like gratuitous violence. So yeah, I don't think that sex should have to be this like
Here we
marginalized thing.
go.
Okay, let's see what they got.
Massage Parlor Murders in 4K, like I guessed, and All That Is Man is kicking himself because I won the bet there. Peakorama, The Double Exposure of Holly, Peakorama, Body Girls, and Let's Get Physical. And then we have catalog slipcovers for A Woman's Torment, which I will highly recommend. Great movie. And Her Name Was Lisa. And those are both really nice. We have, wow, a Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls VHS. That will sell out quickly. Vinegar Syndrome VS Logo Vincent 10 Valentine's Day shirt. A Cranial Vision VS 10-year anniversary edition shirt. They got a hoodie. That is the first time they've had a hoodie in a while. Interesting. And it's a zip up. Wow, that's a nice color too. And then on top of that, they have this VS Press Cranial Vision 10-year anniversary holographic black lava ghost skull screen print. Only 58 left already. Interesting. And then we got VHSs for The Erotic Adventures of Candy, Candy Goes to Hollywood, and Vampire Hookers. Wow. This is crazy. Massage Parlor Murders on 4K. Have you had a chance to see that one yet? Oh, you are muted.
My bad. Is that an adult title or is that just a regular exploitation?
It's a regular exploitation. This is the one that came out in their first year that they upgraded to 4K.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard mixed things about it. I have not seen it myself. I am peeping this hoodie, which is pretty nice looking, honestly.
Yeah.
And I like the Valentine's Day shirt too.
Massage Parlor Murders has a new commentary with Sam Deegan.
Ooh.
That is
we love Sam Deegan.
The Double Exposure of Holly. Not going to be able to show a lot of the pictures on this, unfortunately.
I was going to say, I don't envy your job showing this stuff live.
Let's see.
Yeah, be careful here.
The back of the slip says, you don't have to be rich to be perverse, but position helps. And then this one has newly scanned and restored in 2K, and it has a trailer and alternate soft scenes. And that is it for extras. Huh. Interesting. I kind of hoped for more there. The other one, Body Girls and Let's Get Physical. This one is a double feature, 168 minutes combined. This is newly scanned in 2K from the OCN, and then an interview with Bob Chin, the writer and director. Bob Chin has quite a few out on Vinegar Syndrome. So this is the one that was heralded as the Vinegar Syndrome, I think they said couple director. All right. And then yes, A Woman's Torment. Highly recommend this one. Celeste just brought up Roberta Findlay. This is a Roberta Findlay title. Yeah. This is a snuff tribute to Repulsion, and it is very good. Very, very good. There is a commentary with Roberta Findlay on it as well.
Nice.
Nice new catalog slip. And then Her Name Was Lisa. I have not been able to see this one yet. Any recommendations for Her Name Was Lisa?
I don't know this one either. Some cool artwork.
Will tried to say, I don't think Massage Parlor Murders needs to be on 4K, and then he saw Sam Deegan's name. What's going on, Max? No Caligula, Stan.
That's a bummer. I love Caligula.
Will says, I teach A Woman's Torment sometimes. I'm always sweating when I hit play because I'm paranoid that I select the hardcore version rather than the softcore that's on the disc.
I didn't realize Ashby Owls was Will. I'm sorry. Will, thank you for all your nice comments. I've been a big fan of your guest appearances. I would say you are my favorite guest. So, it's mutual. I'm looking at the Her Name Was Lisa pictures. We got some Twin Peaks vibes going on here. We got a girl wrapped in plastic. You can't show it, but it's there.
Of course. Terry says some of the partner labels are on title. Partner label titles are on sale as well. Is that just because you know the prices? Where are you finding that, Terry? Or which ones? Viva Erotica is on sale. I think that was a canny release. Yep, canny release, and that is $19.99 with a slip.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wanted to get that one.
And this one is it's a limited, strictly limited title, so there will not be a standard release after it sells out. Click on the banner on the top left. Got it.
Yeah, I see what they mean. Yeah.
So
private chat is so good.
Pandora's Mirror, Young Like a Hot Sweet Young Fox's 4K for $21.49. That's a good price. The Taboo box by itself is $9.99.
Yeah, I think so.
That is very cheap because when it came out, it was $20.
Right.
Wow, the Wishman set is $30 for the Twilight years.
To just do
Should not stare at those nipples for too long.
Well, you can get in trouble. This one, Passing Strangers and Forbidden Letters. I have not seen this, but it looks really good. Dracula Sucks. That's one that I recommend to people.
Dracula Sucks is good. Very interesting.
If you want an erotic title that's very not erotic, Dracula Sucks is good.
Yep.
It's honestly like really gross.
Travis says Her Name Was Lisa is a great downer adult title. It's the director of Corruption and Last House on Dead End Street. That's right. Yep. Roger Watkins. Huh. I'm willing to bet Hot and Saucy will sell out very quickly. Limited to 100 tapes, and there's only 62 left.
Yeah. This Fred Houston collection is on sale. I've not watched it yet, but I do have it. From what I understand, it's like pretty hardcore, like art house gay pornography stuff. So, if that sounds like your jam, i.e., if you are me, you should pick it up.
Yeah, I'm still very impressed with this hoodie too.
Yeah, it's very nice. Sex World. That's like my top recommendation for getting into it.
Great title.
I see Naughty Victorians is on here. I snagged that when it was accidentally $10. I still haven't watched it yet because I have a embarrassingly large box of stuff to go through. But that's one of them. 9 Lives of a Wet Pussy. That is a classy title if I've ever heard one.
Yes. I will recommend Malabimba. I believe Malabimba is on sale at the moment. That's a fun one. Yeah, $16.49. I'll scroll down ever so slightly. Bimba lives in a gothic castle with her parents. However, when her mother dies under mysterious circumstances while involved in a seance, Bimba begins acting in increasingly strange and perverted ways. With her father at a loss for what to do, he invites a beautiful nun into the castle to try and get her under control. However, the sister soon suspects that Bimba has become possessed by an insatiable, sex-starved demon, which will stop at nothing, including murder, to fulfill its depraved and unholy desires.
Man, that sounds tight.
And to maybe one-up this has an audio commentary on it, all featuring Sam Deegan, Heather Drain, and Kat Ellinger at the same time.
It's a heavy hitter for sure. The gang's all there. Man, this looks cool. It sucks that this slip is sold out.
Memories Within Miss Aggie is wild. That's a good one. Nun Porn sold. Is Come With Me, My Love good? I have not seen Come With Me, My Love. Oh, it's that other Picorama. Got it. This one, yeah, this was a fairly recent release, I believe. And it sounded good.
That's the Doris Wishman one, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've not seen those two from Doris Wishman, but I have wanted to see it.
Liquid Assets. Very subtle titles, as always.
Some Sibner is Tempted by. Nice. Lots of decent stuff here.
Yeah, there's a lot of titles here. A lot of these are DVDs, which makes sense, honestly. But like, again, I think you're the expert. Are these the type of things that you think are going to get upgraded, or are they just like there's no reason to do that? They're just staying on DVD.
It's tough because I could see them upgrading some of the bigger titles, and some of them, like Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls and Vampire Hookers, those have been out on Blu-ray on one of the 5 years 5 film sets, so they would likely be all the way up to 4K. And especially Hot and Saucy, that's one of their biggest titles ever. I could see them doing that in the next couple of years.
Really?
But yeah, this is, I don't know. This one's questionable for some of them. A lot of the double features that are on DVD, probably not.
Yeah. I see A Place Beyond Shame. I need the invitation to that. Not quite there yet.
Yeah, I agree with Will, though, about Massage Parlor Murders. I don't know that it needed 4K, but I do like the novelty of the it's one of their first titles that they put out on Blu-ray. So now they're upgrading it 10 years later.
That's what got me to buy the Herschel Gordon Lewis set, and I already sold my copy, so
that was quick. Good job.
Yeah. Succula. Right on.
Little on the nose, huh?
Trashy Lady. It's not very nice. I don't know, maybe. Corruption. Yeah, this is one that I'm interested in because it looks like really depraved.
I still think everybody should watch Corruption. Corruption is very good. It is like, I know this is a cliche and overused word, but it is rather Lynchian.
Ooh. Yeah. David Lynch is my favorite director, so that's a pretty easy way to get me to want to watch something.
Frat House isn't any good. Frat House was okay. It was funny in parts. Not incredible, but it definitely had its merits. That wasn't
selling. Title on here called Oriental Babysitter. The sort of sensitivity you can expect from some of these titles.
Yeah, not something that
great
auteurs were known for. Travis will second the Corruption love. Thank you. Dead Sea Life wants to highlight Sherlock Holmes.
That's pretty good. All right. So I don't know that I'm seeing anything that I like need right now because I think this stuff stays in stock pretty okay.
Yeah, a lot of the
when does the sale end?
It ends, I believe, Sunday night. Let me see. Yes, ends this Sunday at midnight.
Okay.
And don't forget, if you had a pre-order for this month, you don't have to pay for shipping again. So if you bought like any of the partner titles or the VS titles for February, you have already paid for shipping, so you're good to go.
Or if you're a Chad subscriber, you ain't got to worry about it either.
This is true.
You know, I double checked it to make sure I wasn't crazy. The sale is ending before Valentine's Day. That's interesting.
It is, yes.
I think that would be the last day. Huh.
Vinegar
I
Syndrome
want to
is
highly
pretty strict on
recommend.
their whole weekend thing, though.
Yeah, interesting. Lawrence of Arabia. That's funny. I want to really recommend Private Chat. That shit is so good. It's really out there, and it's very like sexually explicit for like a sort of mainstream type of film, but um, both the male and female leads are like extremely hot, so it's a fun time.
Hmm.
Julia Fox is in it.
Very interesting.
I think. Have you seen that one? I thought I saw you had it on one of your updates.
I did just get it recently. I've not watched it yet. Dark Star, I don't know. Some of their titles has disappointed me, and then some have been great. They've been very hit or miss. So when I get one or two of their stuff in, it's like it's not put in the immediately watch pile, but it's put in the when you really feel like it pile.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do really recommend it. It's definitely a polarizing one, and there's definitely things about it where when it was finished, I was like, I don't know about that, but it
Right.
just kind of stayed with me, and I just really dug it. So, yeah, it's a very online film. So if you're into that kind of thing, Short Bus. Short Bus is from Oscilloscope. I have it. I haven't seen it
It
yet
is,
though.
yeah. Chris says, I think the Hallstatt collection will sell out during the sale. Damien's still on documentaries. I feel the polystyrene I'm a cliche film is getting overlooked. Very good, amazing footage available on this site. I think it was a Utopia release.
Yeah, it's not one I've seen, but I think it's one that I've perused in the countless times that I've gone through the partner label titles, tracking the stock count and stuff like that. Yeah, the Fred Halstead only has 111 copies left, so
Oh, wow.
probably get on that if you're into the real hard shit. Pun intended.
Any opinions on Blue Ice from anybody? I have not watched Blue Ice. I've heard good things.
No, I don't know what that is, to be honest.
I will pull that one up. So this still has the slip because it was released as one of their archive catalog slips. This is San Francisco private eye Ted Singer has just been hired by a wealthy eccentric played by the man Jamie Gillis to find and procure an ancient and mysterious book which reportedly has the power to grant anyone who can open it the gift of eternal life and power. Unknown to Ted, another group of individuals are also searching for the priceless artifact, a secret group of escaped Nazis who are hoping to use the book to take over the world. Fast-paced and clever erotic thriller.
Yeah, I need to watch Short Bus. That's definitely one that I was super excited to get in, and I have the like Short Bus lube container that they sent me, which
Yep.
is proudly displayed. But yeah. Oh, somebody commented earlier when I said I hadn't watched the Toxic Avengers set. They were like, "You mean to tell me you bought something and didn't watch it? Like, who would do that?" Yeah, I can assure you, it was a one-time thing. Not something I made a dangerous habit out of.
Blue Ice delivers on the WTF end of things. Interesting.
Now, is that one? I didn't see. Let me look it up real quick. Is that one a Picorama or is it like a?
I don't think it is because it was before they were doing the Picorama insignia on the side. But it is technically listed as a classic erotica, so it's only $17.49 right now. It's got Jamie Gillis, so it had to be.
Melt the screen. Looks fun. I like this color palette.
It's directed by the director of Dracula Sucks. And Ron Jeremy's in it. Not sure that's a selling point nowadays.
I don't know much about him, to be honest.
He was Me Too'd for sexual assault, I believe.
Yeah, not great.
Oh, Terry says the slip labels it as a Peakorama now. Interesting.
Kind of retcon that one, I guess.
Did they change the catalog number, or does it just have the Peakorama logo?
It's a good question.
I don't think it shows that on the pictures. Yes, the Woman's Torment slip looks great. Oh, I got it wrong. Dead Sea Life, Ron Jeremy, multiple rapes, not just sexual assault.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's like as bad as it gets, huh?
Yep.
Not good. Hot takes tonight. Looking at Vivo Erotica, there's still quite a bit of copies left, but I am nervous about it since they're not coming back in any capacity.
Yeah, I could see those going by the end of this weekend for sure. John was going to skip Massage Parlor Murders until he saw that there was a San Deegan commentary.
Yeah. Her name was Lisa. These screenshots look pretty wild.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to go through those, but it did not look.
Don't do it. You can kind of see the preview of the Lynchian aspect there, but
oh wow. Okay. I can't show too much more there.
Oh no, Bat Pussy is down to 583 copies. I wanted to buy that for the longest time, and recently I was talking to my partner Avery, and she was like, "You know what? I'm proud of you. You didn't buy Bat Pussy." Like, yeah.
That's funny.
Gave that one a miss. I heard it was not great.
No, it's not. Terry says that it kept the Vinegar Syndrome catalog number, but the Peakorama logo is at the top. Interesting. Oh, for Furry Sexualis. Isn't that oh gosh, that was a big director, isn't it? I feel like it was.
No, this is not a furry title, is it?
No, it is not.
I am not a furry, but I am a furry ally, as I like to say. Pro furry around here. I haven't seen any of these, so I feel like I've gotta fill dead air with bad jokes or something.
Yeah, same here. I'll buy anything that Lisa Petrucci tells me to buy. That's funny. That pussy is so wrong. Brian already bought $200 worth of smut.
Damn, what'd you get? Curious. I mean, I respect it, but I want to know what caught your attention, so to speak. Yeah, these two catalog slips are tempting me. I mean, maybe not right now, but at some point. For ladies and gentlemen over 21, A Woman's Torment. That's very inclusive language. I appreciate that.
Have you seen A Woman's Torment yet?
Actually, it's not really. No, I haven't.
It's pretty good. I actually think you'll like that one.
I haven't actually seen Repulsion yet, so I'm the type of person where I feel like I'd have to see that first, but yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So this...
I do want to see it.
You should. It's very well made. Both of them.
Yeah. Despite Roman Polanski being the worst person, I do tend to connect with his films, so I am going to see it at some point, but yeah. Rosemary's Baby especially is a really important film to me. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say about Massage Parlor Murders?
Nothing really. Nothing important. I don't even remember now. What was it? I don't know. Yeah.
Rip.
Sibner, there's more bush in here than a 90s RNC convention. That's a good line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm still waiting for All That Is Man to drop the hall.
He's still typing.
Okay. That's true.
Probably not.
Body Girls.
The Double Exposure of Holly. This is one I've never even heard of. And then the fact that it doesn't really have any extras on it is not great.
It's a great pun, though.
It is, sadly.
He said that very reluctantly. Sure.
All That Is Man says the Taboo Set, Furies, A Woman's Torment, Frankie and Johnny Were Lovers, Carnal Highways, The Sexorcist, Roller Babies, Hot and Sotsy, Piece of Girls, and Anyone But My Husband, and Her Name Was Lisa Slip.
Right on.
Will says, I love being in a space where someone can say, I'm sorry I interrupted you. What were you going to say about massage parlor murders?
Look, I try to be polite in my discussion of smut.
The Herschel Gordon Lewis set, only the standard is on sale? So the slipcover is $20.99 and the standard is $12.49. I wonder if that's because the
slipcover is really nice.
Is brand new. That just came out in November, I think. That's probably why.
It is a nice slipcover. And there is a pretty decent incest film in there, but yeah. The first one's really boring, and then the third one, Black Love, is like maybe the most offensive thing I've ever seen. And it's also just bad, so yeah. But if you're an HDL completionist, you gotta get it.
It's true. John wants to know, how is Massage Parlor Murders good, bad movie, mid-exploitation, or bad? Honestly, mid-exploitation. It's mostly just boring.
That's the worst.
Yep.
Exploitation film that's boring? Come on.
Exactly. It shouldn't happen. Terry says, if movies about movies are your thing, I can recommend A Labor of Love and Matinee Idol. The first plays like a documentary, while the second features David Friedman, who co-stars, writes, and produces.
Men in Back.
What in the world? Will says, I just procured a book Herschel Gordon Lewis wrote with his wife about plate collecting.
like dinner plates? I don't know.
Those old like Time Life plates that you hang on the wall.
Oh, I mean, I could see someone collecting dinner plates. I don't know. There's something.
Oh yeah, easily. Right? Trauma says, so I bought the Weird Al set from Umbrella earlier, and now a pile of smut. What kind of list do I end up on again? It's a weird one. Period.
FBI Most Wanted, for sure.
So the Double Exposure of Holly is from 1976. Wow. So what's everybody thinking? Collectible plates. John says, I recommend Stiff Competition 4K. It's a Rocky version of a BJ contest.
Yo, that sounds tight. That's an underrated skill, honestly.
Damien says massage parlor
as easy as you think.
It's more interesting as a curio. It was great early release for the label, but I doubt that I've watched it more than twice. Yeah. Sibner says the trailer for Double Exposure of Holly looks bad. Is there nudity in the trailer? Can I show it? Stan really wants that book.
Some fast tab switching if you want to try that one. You know what? I could play it real quick on my end, and I could like kind of tell you if there's anything.
Well, Sibner's pretty active. I'm sure he'll tell us in just a second.
All right.
Because if it's that bad, I kind of want to watch it. He said, I think you can. And I happen to be on that tab already. All right, here we go. Oh, shoot. Is sound on? I'm not sure.
Better get your safe for work tab at the ready just in case.
I've saved your ass on more than one occasion. Now there's a little favor you can do me.
Yeah?
And there's something in it for you.
Like what?
There's a man called Mark Jacob. He's coming to New York in a couple of weeks, and he always stays at the Cumberland Hotel. Now, I want his room put under a 24-hour surveillance with bugs and TV cameras, and I want a tape of the action.
Sex action?
He's having an affair with a woman called Holly Levin. Now, he'll do anything in the world to protect her. She's married and she's rich.
What's in it for you?
Revenge. The lady's a bitch. She double-crossed me. I want her screwed, her boyfriend screwed, and our marriage busted.
All I know, Mark, is that you started something that you are not man enough to finish.
Hey, don't talk dirty. How much you got?
We've
My
got
favorite
enough.
Smith song.
Hey, I'll tell you when you got enough.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the hotel. I'm going to find out what's going on.
Oh, no, Nick, you're not going anywhere like that.
Who's going to stop me?
There's too much involved.
I don't give a shit. Get out of my way.
Please, Nick.
Wait a minute. I'm not exactly unattractive.
Oh, but you are. Exactly. Unattractive.
I don't know what you're talking about. That looked like a masterpiece to me. Lots of double entendres there. I guess it's a thinker, really. You know.
Oh, man.
Mm.
The pun in the title's so much worse now. Ugh.
Yeah.
Juilliard trained actors. This sounds like the movie that Kevin McAllister played to scare the robbers.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah, that was not great. Like a lot of the other films, they tried much more.
Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes 3D Blu-ray rental gets these in. These might be rentals.
Anthony says, I don't give a shit. Get out of my way. I got to buy a copy.
Have at it.
This is an odd choice. And again, the fact that there's no extras on this makes that a little worse.
Yeah.
Genuinely, the one that drinks on Twitter every time I say genuinely is drunk as hell already. A lot of the Peakorama titles, they have really interesting extras. And if you're not going to have anything on there, that's a lot to sell something like that.
I see someone asking, artistic merit aside, which of these has the best sex scenes? Awkward question. I mean, it's not an awkward question to me, but it's like, I don't know what you like.
Yeah,
that's very dependent on.
It's literally a spectrum.
Yeah.
Stiff Competition is not terrible for that. There's a few others that are pretty well done, but not great. So yeah, it's hard. Thanks, Sibner. Yes, I use the word genuinely a lot. I don't know why. What's going on, Silent Mandible?
It's because you're such a genuine person.
I try. Had to grab the zip-up hoodie. Got one like it in black last sale, and it's super comfortable. Also, a bunch of the double feature DVDs of the Finley flick. Nice. Oh, JB, keep it going. It's hilarious. You should do it. Samantha Fox is in most of these flicks, and don't feel bad. I found it hilarious. Stan says, "Where are the porn documentaries?"
Genuinely hilarious.
Stan wants some porn documentaries.
There's a few good ones. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought Hot Girls Wanted was pretty interesting.
Is
I
that the
definitely think it
one?
has its problems.
Is that
I
the
think
one
it's
that
the one
came
that
out?
Rashida Jones produced. It's on Netflix, yeah.
Okay. I I
It
think that's the one that came out like right when This Film Is Not Yet Rated came out, somewhere around then. Because those were both
no,
kind of popular at the same
more,
time.
I think it's a lot more recent than that. People criticized it for being like very anti-sex work, and I think that it does kind of have that bent to it, but it's also just a really interesting exploration into a topic that most people just don't want to touch.
Right.
I don't know. There's scenes from it that I still remember and think about. So I think it's valuable, though I don't necessarily agree with what it's trying to do necessarily. But the TV series that was spawned off of it, I forget what it was called. Hot Girls Wanted something else. That had some really, really interesting episodes in it too. So yeah, if anybody has good porn documentaries to recommend,
Drop it
please.
in the chat. Brian says it's filth. He's just kidding. The other Brian says Sex World will always be top tier. Sex World is great.
It is very good. I gave that like an 8 out of 10. Like I genuinely think it's good.
Genuinely. Damien brought up Pretty Peaches, and I think I've still only seen the first one, and it's not bad. And then Brian said The Young Like It Hot and Summer Camp Girls are recent favorites. Summer Camp Girls was pretty good. And Reb Blake says the last sex scene in Sweet Pumpkin is the best I've seen in a Peakorama yet. I have not watched that one yet. Absolutely yay on Stiff Competition, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting it too.
It'll last till another sale, but it's not going to get cheaper. That's the hard part.
Yeah,
it's the hard part.
Mm-hmm. We should have a counter on that pun.
Oh, and yeah, this one's 4K. So yeah, that's
crazy. When did this one come out? Oh my god.
I want to say like June of 2021, maybe.
Oh, interesting. In 4K?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 4th annual World Championships suck off.
Stiff Competition. That was released. Oh no, I was way off. April of 22.
Okay.
Damien says Bat Pussy is anti-porn. This is true. Christopher Silvestri wanted to share the Michael J. Murphy set is $75 on eBay. That is easily the cheapest I've seen it. Easily.
That one, Dragoose, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it looked cool. It had interesting artwork.
Yes, this one is quite a bit slept on. This one, I think this is one. When did this come out? So this came out in April of 22 as well, it looks like. And gosh, I don't think there's any. Oh, Brigitte Lahaye is in this. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember a lot about this one.
It looks like more like a gothic horror type thing.
It does,
or like
yeah.
a satanic thing, which is chill.
I probably should not click this button, but I'm going to risk it for a second. Nope.
What can you do?
Wow. The Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls VHS is down to 4. Chris, supposedly we are not getting the original Debbie Does Dallas at all. I think it was Justin and John from Vinegar Syndrome himself both said they don't like the original Debbie Does Dallas.
Damn. I'm just looking at the screenshots for Stiff Competition, and it just looks amazing.
I assume I can't show them?
No, not at all. It's not as bad as you'd think, but YouTube is not gonna be stoked about it. So
it's full of prudes.
Yeah. God forbid someone see a female presenting nipple. Think of the damage.
Will Gish is here, and he says, do they dislike Debbie, Dallas, or doing? That is a wonderful question. Debbie 3 is the best one, says Neil. What's going on, Neil? He's here live irregularly, so it's nice to see you. Just like to point out that it's almost 1 a.m. when we're all looking at porn together. Well, kind of. I stopped venturing in because there's a lot of stuff I can't show in a lot of these.
How many people are here right now? I mean, this is an
Still
important
60.
bonding.
It really is. So Hot and Saucy
good.
is 3
Y'all are
left
the
on the
real
VHS.
Damn. Yeah, the 60 of you that are still here, y'all are the real ones. Real degenerate hours here.
I can't show a lot of this. I should not have clicked on that picture just now. Hopefully the stream is still up tomorrow, or I will have to edit it.
Damn. You can definitely edit it. It's just a pain.
Yep. Bride says she was just eating a sausage.
Yeah.
Anthony, it's still Thursday here for me. I'm good with that.
I'm going to have a vegan moment real quick. Like, how come we can show people eating sausage but not sucking dicks? Like, sucking dick is, like, generally consensual and, like, a good time, and eating sausage involves, like, wanton murder and slaughter. Like, what's going on there? Not cool. All right, I'm done. Off of my soapbox.
Oh, man.
Yo, Ragnar, I totally agree. Like, what's going on there?
I'm honestly surprised. I could have saw that a couple of years ago, like when they did their first adult sale, which was 2020 or 2021, one of those two. I could have seen that easily. Or even to take it a step back, how did they not start selling Vinegar Syndrome condoms? Like, that is obvious.
Yeah, come on, that's easy. Ooh, one of John Waters' favorite films is Kansas City Trucking Company. Is that up here? I knew Anthony would agree. Anthony knows what's up.
It is not there.
Huh. Interesting.
Will, it would be cool if Vinegar Syndrome could get some of the early Marilyn Chambers films like Behind the Green Door, Insatiable, Resurrection of Eve. Thank you for letting us all get together while ordering porn at 1 a.m. on live chat. Of course. Unless it's a dead dick, like necrophilia BJs. What? Oh, Will. That's great.
Man.
Where's the Viewmaster reels? Yeah, it's true. Vinegar Syndrome brand butt plugs and ball gags for the prudes. Hot and Saucy VHS is all gone.
I would buy a Vinegar Syndrome butt plug. I'm not going to lie to you.
Display it like in Everything Everywhere All at Once, too.
Yeah. We do have that one.
Terry got Blue Money, Body Girls, and Heavy Metal Parking Lot. Only 94 left, and that is strictly limited. That's a good reminder. Yeah. I don't know how that one hasn't sold out yet, I gotta be honest.
I'm surprised, too. I watched like 4 or 5 films on it and decided I didn't need it, but I know that a lot of people really love it. So,
the American Taboo film rights must be a pain in the butt. Seems like a win of a box set for Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Ready for Stallone's party at Kitty and Studs. Is this the virtual equivalent of a circle jerk? Well, it is now, Stan. Thank you. Now that you called attention to it.
No, I think you can just have a virtual circle jerk. Like, I don't know that you need that. Gotta get creative.
Yes. Especially when we
No, I think you made the right call inviting me because I just don't care. I'll say
I'm the same.
absolutely depraved stuff like that.
Yep.
I don't know. Some people I feel like might just be here a little bit awkward. Like, okay, and I'm just like, yeah, I want the butt plug, please.
Dead Sea Life is asking if the storefront theater is a DVD or Blu-ray. Just a warning, it is a multiple DVD release, and it shows. It does not look great. I think on both of them, most of the parts that are on it are Super 8 shot, and it is very low quality. Still interesting to see, and has some interesting curios on it. But yes, it is very much a DVD release. Ooh, Perry fan wants Vinegar Syndrome incense and candlesticks.
Yeah,
I could see some Vinegar Syndrome candlesticks doing well.
that would be tight. I would buy that too. The fool is parted with their money.
Yeah, put it in the rewards program. We'll be all right with that.
Yeah.
Trying to post the announcements at the same time. This is always difficult to do a stream and post the announcements.
I'll try to fill the dead air. Do you all have any
about
questions for us, or I guess me, so you don't have to distract Ryan?
No, you're good. I can answer questions.
I'm excited for Biozombie. I'm excited for that whole slate that was announced. I think it sounds all really cool. Vinegar scented, maybe.
That's awful.
Half of a day, yeah.
On the real, since it is the Vinegar Syndrome 10-year anniversary, I'm very surprised that we did not get an upgrade on oh gosh, what is her name? Why can't I think of it? The Vinegar Syndrome logo is her. Long Jean Silver.
Oh, I don't know actually.
Long Jean Silver. I'm really surprised that we didn't get a Blu-ray upgrade or even maybe a 4K of that. I know that DVD is out of print now, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were upgrading it. But for the 10-year anniversary, like to upgrade the logo would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't either. I would have bought that just because, and then maybe sold it, but I would have bought it.
Dead Sea Life was trying to be funny and said her name is Lisa. That was pretty good. Let's see. Will says, I'm excited for Biozombie, but bummed Arna isn't on that release. It's one of his favorite movies. Yes. I feel like a lot of those... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
A lot of those guys over there are not on a lot of Vinegar Syndrome releases, and I don't know why. Like, obviously, Vinegar Syndrome is just kind of now getting into the Hong Kong stuff kind of heavily. But yeah, they really should be doing more with those guys. Like, I'm glad Frank Jang is on them. And I know Will knows Frank very well.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ragnar, I understand that sort of comment, but I think that that's just sort of the nature of rewards programs. And I mean, like, there are those of us who just would be spending them anyway. And so it's just nice to get the reward on top of that.
Yeah.
Like Will, who forgot he had 1,000 points, which is like, yeah. I have a bunch of points. I don't really know what to do with it, but I guess I'm waiting for the right moment. You know what? I'm so broke. Maybe I'll just use it as like cash and I can get something. I don't know.
The only thing I don't love about the rewards program at the moment is that you can't redeem anything unless you're buying something at the same time.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
So you can't just put something in your cart and pay for shipping on that item.
Mm-hmm.
That you're redeeming. Sucks. Will, and it's hard now because there's two Wills in the chat at the same time, but Will Gish, Frank said I could only be his BFF if I eat chicken feet. And I guess this is a good time to announce at almost 1 a.m. While talking about porn, Will Gish and Frank Jang will both be on the channel next week. So thanks, guys.
Right on.
If you are into the Hong Kong stuff, make sure you come back next week. Do you think a proper release for Last House on Dead End Street is still coming? I feel like that could possibly be a big release for the 10-year anniversary. I would like to hope so. That one's tough because they teased that years ago, and obviously it's the Easter egg on corruption, but I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. I really, really hope so. Oh gosh, yes. Ragnar, absolutely correct. Compared to other labels, Vinegar Syndrome has a long way to go to get the Hong Kong stuff. Yes. However, they are selling a lot more than some of those other labels just by nature of who they are. And you would think at that point they would want to do better for the releases. And they would want somebody like Arna on there. Sivner says, Memories Within Miss Aggie, A Woman's Torment and Corruption, just the most depressing porn selection for me. Yeah, that's true.
No, we're on the same wavelength.
How do I feel about them bringing back slipcovers they said they would never reprint for the reward program? This one's tough because they can like vocabulary their way out of this by saying, nope, it's not the same thing because there's a different logo on it, so we're not just reprinting it. It doesn't bother me because I don't have the slipcovers for money and value. But if I did, and I was hoping for my Bloodhook to be worth $300 on eBay when my car breaks down, then yeah, I'd be a little bit pissed because it's probably going down. However, a lot of people, it's like the old vinyl collection where people went crazy for first editions. It's that exact same thing where if you don't have the first edition, it's still not going to be worth as much as the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pretty much how I feel about it. I don't know. I think it's cool that other people get a chance to have them. I don't really put a lot of stock in the limitedness of it. It's just like if I like it, then I want it. But if I don't really, I don't know, get off on something being super limited or whatever. And I'm like, ooh, yeah. I have it.
Especially those first few, like Bloodhook and Terror, the ones that are super wanted, those only had 1,000 copies printed. That was back when Vinegar Syndrome was not big yet. So it's crazy. Nicomedes said, a bit off topic, but is there any chance we'll ever see 4Ks of Argento's Opera or the Stendhal Syndrome? I bet we will for at least one of those two. It would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me if we got both, but I would bet we see probably one of those two before the year is over. Argento is just, it's big right now.
Yeah, I feel like his name on stuff sells units. So,
because Stendhal is Stendhal Fox? It's not, right? Because I know Inferno is Fox.
Rip.
So yeah, Inferno is probably out of the question at the moment. But I don't know why we wouldn't get Opera or Stendhal Syndrome. Because Bloodhook was limited to 1,000, like I said, but now you can get it 10 years after being out of print from the rewards program. It is not 10 years after it was out of print. God, Bloodhook came out well after their first year. What? Let me see.
The trailer for Let's Get Physical. If we can get away with it, I'd love to see it.
Bloodhook came out in April of 2018. So it hasn't even been 5 years out of print. You got to check out the trailer for Let's Get Physical. It's hysterical and YouTube safe.
All right, tight.
All right, here we go. Oh, shut up, Anthony. You know I don't know anything. It was an interesting start.
I think this person is stretching the definition of YouTube safe, but we'll see.
Jackie, I'd like to introduce you to Arnold Ferragamo, the celebrity head judge for Saturday's bodybuilding contest. Arnold, this is Jackie Lillet. My pleasure, Jackie.
Well, talk, boys. Your shirts have already given you away. Well, it seems a little not too gentle persuasion is in order here. But first, your clothes, boys.
Oh, come on, lady. You must be out of your mind.
Take them off.
Oh, just
now. Laura, you remember Arnold Ferragamo? He's built more bodies than General Motors. And he'll be judging tomorrow's contest. Maybe you could give us some pointers on our workout?
Yeah,
Oh, good
let's
Lord.
go.
But I'll never be a prima ballerina. Can't you understand?
You will be a prima ballerina. You gotta have patience, my dear. I'm going to turn you into another Pavlova.
Stretch. Okay, be a little bit more aware of your turn up.
I think this is turning into something else.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
That one at least looks a lot better than the first one we watched together.
I think that looks like fun.
Bet you that them broads are hitting below the belt, if you know what I mean.
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Thank you.
Wonderful stinger on that. Oh man.
So yeah, I know there's technically no nudity, so we're probably fine. I'm just super paranoid about YouTube like yanking my shit. You know?
Yeah, especially after
'Cause they
some
seem to just not be consistent about it.
of the crap that I've had pulled down for no reason. Yeah, I get it. I still can't believe I had a countdown copyright striked.
What?
Yeah, literally, my countdown to my stream video got copyright stricken a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's fun.
Will says missed a chance at a tailpipe joke with the General Motors line. We're not seeing the whole movie. They can't keep the best jokes in the trailer. Come on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Seem to remember a distributor long ago releasing hardcore porn titles with all the sex scenes removed.
Okay, that's a
Why?
strategy, I guess.
Eric says, thanks for the recommendation on private chat. Thought it looks interesting and is for recommendations. Public Affairs, Young Like It Hot, and Taboo.
Nice. I hope you like private chat. It's definitely a polarizing one, so I hope I didn't lead you astray, but I really enjoyed it. There's also a bonus film on it that I haven't seen yet, but it's like feature length and everything, so that's pretty cool.
Do they advertise that on there? Because I don't remember knowing about that.
Yeah, it's just listed as a supplement, but like another one of the director's films is just like on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Annunciation from 2014.
I'm pretty sure it's at least 60 minutes. I could be wrong though. Unclothed yoga videos on YouTube. I don't know what YouTube is doing these days. Honestly, it feels like they change their policy every day.
Well,
and
and
it's like
other like European countries, like Wicked Vision, when they advertise their trailers on YouTube, there is just full on nudity. I don't get it.
Some countries are grown-ups. I guess.
A little bit, at least. All right, everybody. We probably can't just vamp about porn anymore than we already have. I hope that you have all enjoyed that. I hope that you have fun buying your erotic titles for the rest of the weekend. Celeste, thank you for your time tonight. We definitely got to talk about documentaries again, because that was like not even the tip of the iceberg. That was another Picorama pun.
Yeah, I mean, I think we packed in some good info in like record time. It's difficult for me, but I think I managed it okay. I see Anthony had a good time. I'm glad. I had a good time too. I think this is the longest stream I've ever been on, so that's pretty cool.
Wow, nice. Let's make it an even 3.5 hours then. Good job.
I don't know if you remember off the top of your head how long our last stream lasted for the.
Oh, that's a good question. I can probably check real quick.
That might have been longer. Actually, I'm not sure. Only 55 copies of Belitis left. I haven't watched it, but I do have it, and it's really beautiful artwork. So, yeah.
So it was just over 2 hours. So this easily eclipsed it, almost doubled it.
That's shocking to me.
Happy Valentine's Day. Wonderful discussion tonight. We need a long discussion of documentaries. You know what? Maybe you and Will can come on at the same time. We have like a panel discussion on documentaries.
That sounds fun.
That sounds like a blast, actually.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, everybody. You know what to do. Make sure you're subscribed to Celeste. Make sure that you like the stream and share it elsewhere, please. If you are interested, come back next week. I've already given a couple hints, but there's a big thing coming next Wednesday, and I don't really want to say a whole lot too more just yet. But if you are planning on being here live next week, I will say that instead of Thursday, why don't you try to be here for at least Wednesday and Thursday, because it's going to be a fun week. There's a lot going on, and other than Will Gish and Frank Jang, it is going to be an exciting one. And thank you to all the patrons of the show. This is everybody here. And I want to highlight one that was the newest before somebody got added today, and I didn't have the time to put them on the list yet. Brad Henderson from TerrorVision and previously a Vinegar Syndrome is now a patron and hangs out and discusses in our Discord. So if that's something you're interested in and you want somebody with the expertise of Brad, come hang out in the Discord. Sign up at the link in the description below. Thank you, everybody. I can't imagine why there's still more than 50 people here talking about smut with us. But I appreciate it. I love this community, and I appreciate all of you. Celeste, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
See you later, everybody. Have a good one.